gentlemen, welcome to Gas City, Indiana, Mississinewa High School for the Grant County High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Roger Alcock along with Ron Vermillion. We have a great one tonight. We're ready to kick it off as Eastbrook will kick off. This is Schultz who will send it deep back for Mississinewa is their quarterback, Mr. Everything Heisman Skeens, along with their fullback, Cade Campbell. And here is the kickoff. We're underway. It's taken by Campbell at the 10. Gets it out to the 20. Gets down to the edge over that left sideline. Still on his feet. Still on his feet across the 40. A nice return. And he's finally run out of bounds at the 43. And I believe that was Campbell on the return, Ron. And, of course, we're going to say his name a lot tonight.
Well, you've got the cousins. You've got Cade and Carson.
Really quick, we're going to send it down to the sidelines with the rest of our crew. Really quick, Silas Weghorst on that Eastbrook sideline.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Eastbrook's coming off a strong win against Madison Grant last week, and I talked to Coach Adamson before tonight's game, and he said they're just going to make sure they get their defense lined up correctly. That's all. Now to you, Katie.
Down on the Mississinewa sideline, Coach Kirk told us that this game is one that you circle every year. And last year, after a tough loss to the Eastbrook Panthers, they've circled it a little bit bigger, and they're ready to compete in this game. Back to you, Roger.
Well, and Ron, there you see on the first play from scrimmage is Heisman Skeens with the keeper, and that's exactly what Eastbrook does not want to do, is that Heisman Skeens get outside of the pocket, get to the edge. He's incredibly dangerous out there.
Quarterback keeper by Heisman Skeen as he fakes the dive, fakes the run around to the left, keeps the ball 22-yard pickup to the Eastbrook 40-yard line.
All of a sudden, Mississinewa in Panther territory. Big gain here on first down, inside the 30. Well, it's going to be marked down at the 30. That's Campbell with his first carry. So 2 plays, and the Mississinewa Indians already deep in Panther territory. Coach Jeff Adamson told us defensively they might not blitz as much as they do. They want to try to keep Skeens in the pocket, make him give up the football. But Campbell is a pretty lethal weapon if he gives up the football.
Well, and then, of course, Skeens kept the ball in the first one, got 22. So he is somebody that you want to control where he goes.
In motion is Castanon. Inside handoff. It'll be another Mississinewa first down as they get it inside the 30. And we'll mark it down at the 26-yard line. Just underway here in the first quarter of action. It's game number 1 of the WIWU TV Grant County High School Football Game of the Week. We've got a great one. It's the 3-0 Eastbrook Panthers, number 2 in the state in Class 2A. The Mississinewa Indians now have moved up to 4A. They're 2-1 with a tough loss to start off the season, but they're both coming off of big wins. Here on the sweep. Cutting back to the middle, that is, let's see, number 23 is Carson Campbell, excuse me, with the big pickup on first down.
Now remember, Roger, the last 5 years, the home team has won this and gone on to win the CIC. So this is big. This doesn't mean that it's going to be over. And here we see Campbell, and we want to say that's Cade Campbell, the freshman, as he turns the ball up, gets 8 yards on that carry.
Second down and 2. Mississinewa on the march. Skeens will keep it, working right side. Turns it up to the 10, and he will walk in the end zone for the touchdown. Just like that, Mississinewa, in 5 plays, takes it into the house and gets on the scoreboard first, and Coach Kirk Funk is pretty happy with that start.
I don't know if you saw it, but Andrew Cruz got the key block on that at the point of attack over there on the right side. He got the pin block and allowed Heisman Skeens to go and get that 22-yard or 20-yard touchdown.
Well, that is the start that the Mississinewa Indians wanted, and Eastbrook did not. Eastbrook really, I don't think, could afford to get behind in this game because their offense is so run-oriented.
It is. Here we're going to see it. And watch over here, 31 get this block or a shield, and there goes Heisman Skeen, about 20 yards for that touchdown.
Well, the extra point was pulled to the left, so the score is 6-0. We'll see how the Eastbrook Panthers respond. And, of course, last couple years, who wanted to kick off to Mr. Andrew Barajas for Eastbrook? And, of course, that's he's lost to graduation now, but that guy was a difference maker and a half.
And if you remember last year for Mississinewa, they had McCoy, who was such a good quarterback, and you had Heisman Skeens at the tailback, and he was running, he caught passes, and now that young man is throwing as the quarterback, throwing at an 86% clip.
Well, we'll see what the Eastbrook Panthers can do with their first offensive possession. They should come out
Number 15, Justin Singer. Number 28,
the first play from scrimmage with Mason Hale, the senior, at quarterback, but they have gone with both Hale and Dylan Bragg, the junior, at the quarterback position. Coach Adamson has told us he's very confident in both of those guys. They're both going to see action.
He said, I'm going to let them both see action early. So it may be one the first set and one the second set.
Well, Ron, I don't want to complain. We are up here in the cozy, cool, and dry confines of the press box here, but it is very difficult to see through some of the rain on the windows to catch some of the numbers. But that kickoff drilled into the end zone, and so it'll be first down for Eastbrook, and they'll set up shop at the 20-yard line.
You know, and you talked about those two quarterbacks coming out, and I think it'll be Mason Hale, but certainly Zane Kirby and Justin Singer, they play a lot of smash mouth football with Zane Kirby, and Justin Singer, he runs the ball to the outside a little better.
Well, before the snap, there's a flag, and I think it's a motion penalty on Eastbrook, and that'll send them back 5 yards. That was Andre Soliday, the place kicker for Mississinewa, with a good kickoff, and that's a difference maker in itself right there in the kicking game. The special teams field position is huge in these kind of games.
And he had 19 extra points coming in, so it's not like he misses a lot, but maybe it was a little slippery.
Here's the inside handoff. Kirby picks up a yard. Not much more than that. Maybe two now with the spot, so it'll be second down and 13.
Kirby is your hammer man. He's going to get those hard yards for you, tackle to tackle.
Back to Pat, actually, another fake and inside handoff there to Justin Singer. Not much there at all for him. In fact, he's going to be knocked back for a big loss. Back to the 15-yard line.
And they're back on offense. It's a hurry-up offense.
It is long here. Now Hale's going back to pass, throws across the middle and off the hands of his intended receiver. That was Clay Dalton, the tight end, along that right hash mark.
And you didn't even give me a chance to say they'd only thrown 3 times. Yeah. And true to the fact that Jeff Adamson is not predictable. So Eastbrook had only thrown 3 times in 3 games. He comes out and throws it on the third play, offensive play for Eastbrook.
Well, it's 4th and 15, and Eastbrook is going to have to kick it away. Back deep near midfield will be Heisman Skeens lined up to the left and Cade Campbell to the right. Good snap.
Oh, straight
high
up.
But very short kick that takes a Mississinewa bounce and rolls back to the 35-yard line. So great field position for the Mississinewa Indians to start their second drive.
19-yard punt for Eastbrook and gives Mississinewa, who's already scored once in this game, great field position there at the 35.
35-yard line.
Not the start that Coach Adamson wanted for his Eastbrook Panthers.
Skeens looking at his left wrist. What a great picture. The field is obviously in great shape with this artificial surface here, but I want to tell you what, it rained a ton.
I think we had
6 inches today.
Well, I think we had at my place there in Marion 4 inches, and we're supposed to get up to 6 inches by the end. So, you know, it's going to be a soggy, but not on turf. It's not going to be soggy.
Yeah, I thought if this had been the old natural grass, this would have been a mud bog.
It would have, and I don't know if I guess we're not going to get a replay on that, but that was a little quick trap where he went back to his left, came back to the right for no gain as Eastbrook's 4-3 defense, or actually 3-4 defense is right there to stop him.
Well, before that play, the first penalty now on the Mississinewa Indians is a procedure penalty that'll march them back 5 yards.
Second and about 15 for the Indians from the Panther 40-yard line.
Sets up a 2nd and 15. That first down right there was big for the Eastbrook defense to hold them to no gain. They obviously want to try. Any defense wants to get the opposition in third and long situations, but especially in this game for Eastbrook. Boy, there's another
one.
On the play.
And I think somebody on the right side of that Mississinewa defense moved while. No, it's offside's going to be called on Eastbrook, so they get those 5 yards right back.
Big mistake. We haven't really talked about how good of a quarterback Heisman Skeens is from Mississinewa. Throwing it at 85% clip, 22 of 26 in the first 3 games. No interceptions, I believe 3 touchdowns. This young man is an athlete. That's all I can say. Great back last year. Now as a quarterback, he's been a great leader and a great thrower.
Carson Campbell in motion, fake to the hand of, hit hard. And met hard in the middle. And that time we talked about, we were going to talk a little bit about Mr. Clay Dalton. I think he was making the stop in that.
Here's the replay on that. And boy, let's see who did get it.
Well, it was Clay Dalton on top, and then down beneath, I think it was Alexander Baker, the defensive end for Eastbrook. But that was a big play there because it sets up a 3rd and long. You know, Coach Kurt Funk, getting back to Heisman Skeens, said Heisman really committed himself over the spring and then the summer, tried to learn that position. He went to some quarterback camps and really dedicated himself to being the best quarterback he can be because he's really never played the position. Rolling to his left, he'll tuck it in and run. Looking for that first down marker. He has it, and he's going to have the end zone. No, wait a minute, he stepped out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
He's out of bounds. It'll be a first down, Indiana.
It'll be a first down, however,
it'll
for
be
Mississippi on that big gainer.
It is a first down, and again, here's the replay. He's going to throw. Nobody's open. He decides to run, goes down, and gets the ball all the way down there to about the, what are we going to put it at, the 17, and certainly 18-yard pickup. And Coach Adamson told us in production meeting, we have to contain Heisman Skeens. And twice he's gotten big gainers in this first quarter.
Big 3rd down conversion there. Skeens with the keeper. He'll pick up about 6 yards on that play. And Mississinewa on the march and looking to put 2 scores up here early on this Eastbrook defense. And Eastbrook defense has given up only 6 points.
That's right.
A game on the season.
And again, we look
on average.
We look at who they played, and it looked like coming in, maybe Mississinewa, even though it had 1 loss, it might have played a little stronger schedule than Eastbrook, but certainly we know that both schools have a strong program.
Skeens, keeper, turns it up. Fighting his way inside the 5. He gets it down to the, let's say, to the 3 or the 2-yard line, and it'll be a 1st and goal now for the Indians. And right now, Eastbrook defense has no answer here for Heisman Skeens, and we're only, about 7 minutes into this game.
Yeah, it's they don't. Here it is on replay, and we see Skeens putting his shoulders down and getting an extra 3 or 4 yards, getting down to the 2-yard line.
Here's Campbell into the end zone for the Mississinewa touchdown. Just waiting for this signal. There it is. And the Indians, just like that, with 5:04 to go, are on top 12-0. And this Eastbrook fan base on the far side of the field, they've got to be a little bit stunned right now.
They have got to be shell-shocked. You know, you come in and you've got a leader in Heisman Skeens. Cade Campbell, by the way, I believe that's his 10th touchdown of the season. And we're only in the 4th game.
The snap is down. The kick by Soliday is up. It is good, and that makes the score 13-0. Soliday, a very good-looking kicker. And here on the replay, you can see the handoff to Campbell, and he just plows his way right in.
He does. Of course, the offensive line for Mississinewa moved the defensive line for Eastbrook. So pretty good 2 series for Mississinewa.
Hey, let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Katie Key.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, down here, the last couple of plays you've seen Heisman Skeens, number 21, be really active in all the possessions. And he actually is just now transferred over to that quarterback position. And he's making a big impact there. And he's always had a big impact on this team, so it's really good to just see his hard work coming through. Coach told us yesterday that he spent 4 weeks over the summer preparing for that quarterback position. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Katie. Hey, it's good to see Katie going without the umbrella right now.
Well, yeah, and she brought a little tiny one, and I just said, Katie, you need to take this big one. But, yeah, she's down there, which means it's good for the football team if she's not having that big umbrella over the top of her head.
Like we said, it literally poured. And I've got to say this right now, Soliday is getting ready to kick off. If you are at home right now enjoying this game, thank the guys and the ladies who got out here about 9 o'clock this morning with our WIWU TV crew, and all day long have been setting up cameras and the truck and everything it takes to bring this game to you. We get the privilege of showing up here about an hour and a half before the game and you know, having a hot dog. They've done a ton of work in miserable conditions to get this game ready.
Truly, you know, our buddy Nathan, he's down there with all those, and it's not just one person, because this takes a small army to set up everything that, and we get the opportunity then to call what we see.
Well, Eastbrook Panthers looking to respond here. They'll have it 1st and 10. The ball's at 26. Here's the inside handoff. The ball is on the turf.
I believe they lost it.
Are we going to say, no, the official's going to say he was down on the ground, he being number 28, Edward Keesley. Well, he took a tumble there. Had a little bit of a crease there, but someone tripped him up and holds him to a gain of about 4 yards there.
Yeah, 4-yard pickup as Keesling comes off that counter move.
Here is St. Kirby, and there is indeed the first down picked up by that Eastbrook offense. That's more what we're used to seeing from Eastbrook, is a little bit of that power game inside mixed up with, you know,
those little counter moves.
Yes, and then working the outside then with the speed. And we talked a little bit about that. You've got kind of Zane Kirby, who's a little bit of the power runner, and then Justin Singer, maybe more the speedster. And then we see down on the field right there is, let's see who that is for Mississinewa. Seth Kachanik, who is shaken up. So the teams will go to the sidelines. But getting back to that Eastbrook offense, it's what they've done for 30 years with Jeff Adamson.
That's
they do it extremely well. I mean, they're going to stick with their game plan. They're down, 13-0 right now, but it's really, they're going to stick with their game plan, and they're going to do what they do. And they're not rattled at this point.
You watch if Mississinewa gets another touchdown, I think they'll go for 2, because I think it's just a matter of time now that Eastbrook gets their game rolling, and Eastbrook has a good extra point man too. So we're looking at a team, 2 teams that like to run the ball, and that's what we've seen early. And you don't just have to run the ball when it's wet out there, because the offense has the advantage when they're against the defense when it's raining, unlike the crowd. And we have a great crowd over there on the Eastbrook side.
Exactly.
It's full, and it's full, maybe not as many as we've seen from Mississinewa in the past because of the rain. But the fact is, when you get about 4 inches of rain in one day, Roger, it's going to keep some people home.
And there you see Sept being helped off the field. But when we get back to action here, it will be 1st and 10 for Eastbrook. They have the ball out at their 38-yard line. And again, not to belabor a point, but loyal fans for both of these teams.
That's right. Both teams strong. When you have a good a good, strong team year in, year out, you're going to have a good, strong fan base. People like to follow winners.
Well, here we go. Hale, inside handoff, fighting out to just across the 40-yard line. That was Kirby with the carry. A pickup of about 2 yards there. First down will be 2nd and 8.
And it's that grind out stuff that Kirby does straight up, and already we're back running the play again.
Here again, Kirby with the carry as Eastbrook tries to move quickly with that offense. Trying to create a little bit of tempo, see if they can't catch that Mississinewa defense off guard. But key to this is Eastbrook has to pick up, consecutive first downs.
They do, and straight up the gut again. And now we're looking at 3rd down and really kind of long.
Oh, and there's trouble as Hale is going to be taken down.
I think that was Funk. I think Funk on the blitz.
Yeah, it was Kyler Funk. We talked about him with his dad, the head coach. He didn't want to come across, as being too proud of a dad. But the facts are the facts that this young man, Kyler Funk, is leading this defense, and along with Tobias Meade and Andrew Cruz. But big stop, and it forces an Eastbrook punt. This is a much better kick.
Nice punt.
And Campbell's going to take a fair catch back at the 21-yard line. Much better kick that time by Eastbrook. And take a look at this tackle. Here comes the blitz. And Hale had no chance, did he?
No, generally you're blocking to the inside, but Funk went in the A gap, which between the center and the guard. Nobody there to catch him, and he gets a tackle for loss. And I believe that's his 4th tackle for loss of the season.
We had 2 minutes and 52 seconds to go here. In the first quarter of action, Mississinewa has the football. They're on top 13-0. And Skeens once again leads his defense out and hands it off inside to Campbell. The ball was on the turf. It's still loose. And Eastbrook says they have it. Let's take a look here. We'll wait for the officials to say so, and they do. It is Eastbrook football. And Ron, we haven't talked about it yet, but one of the keys to this game has been a key in the last 2 matchups. Last year, turnovers killed Mississinewa. 2 years ago, they just decimated Eastbrook.
Here is the play. He hands off to Campbell.
And that's Zane Kirby making the hit.
Yep. And, it is raining, I think, a little bit out there, and the ball might be getting a little slick.
Well, an opportunity here now for this Eastbrook offense. We'll have 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Hale goes back, across the middle, and it is an incomplete pass. So a little bit of a mix-up there. Change up from Coach Adamson, going to the pass on 1st down.
And that's what I'm saying. He's thrown 3 times all year, and in this first quarter he's thrown twice. Both incomplete, by the way. Coming in, though, they had completed all 3 passes they threw. But certainly, I've always said Jeff Adamson, you say he's a running coach. No, he's a coach.
Actually, I should mention that's now Dylan Bragg, who's come in to play quarterback for Eastbrook. Number 16, Hale wears number 18. And this we expected.
Yes,
Coach
we
Adams
did.
said Hale will have probably the first 1 or 2 possessions, and Bragg will come in. That's what they've done this year. He has full faith and confidence in both quarterbacks. But the penalty now, kind of uncharacteristically, the 3rd penalty on this Eastbrook team.
Each series so far, they've had a motion penalty of some kind. Plus, they had a penalty with on defense.
Kirby in motion. Here is the handoff. Little delay for Singer. He gets about 3 yards back before he's knocked down. But it will set up a 3rd and long now for Eastbrook.
Singer on the counter play, coming back from the right to the left, and they're waiting for him. They're just coming across. They're not getting a great depth. The defense, they're coming across and waiting for that man to show up, and what a good defense so far.
We'll see if Mississinewa dials up the blitz once again. Dylan Bragg is going to change up the call here at the line of scrimmage.
I think you might be in 4-down territory here.
Here's the handoff to Kirby. Not much room there at all as he picks up only a yard, and now it's 4th and 11. And
Andrew Cruz at the bottom of the pile for Mississinewa as he comes across and gets the tackle. Again, you're in 4-down territory,
correct,
but you're 4th and 11. So far, this offense of Eastbrooks has not shown up.
Dylan Bragg back to pass. He's hit and he lost the football. It really doesn't matter because they would have turned it over on downs anyways, but Dylan Bragg had no time to throw the football. He was hit, lost it, and Mississinewa will take over at about the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. The big stop, big possession there by that Mississinewa defense.
One of the captains, Chris Pavey, right here, comes from his in spot over there, and he just drills the quarterback. 7-yard loss, and Mississinewa starts their 3rd possession.
Once again, here come the Indians as Skeens. Play action, dumps it across the middle. Man, wide open, near midfield, and finally taken down at that 50-yard mark.
Drew Castanon on the skinny post, and he's slow getting up.
Big gain that time for the Indians, and this offense right now, for Minnesota, they look pretty good, don't they?
They look real good coming off on the run, and you know, I like what he's done. He established his run first, and now 1st down. You know, when you're looking run, it's easy to throw the play action pass, but certainly Castanon, he kind of paid for it.
Yeah. Here we take a look at the replay. Nice pitch and catch.
Let's see what. Oh, he got his head driven into the. I mean, it was a hard tackle.
Good clean tackle, but
yeah, it was a hard tackle. He got tackled with 2 guys. One guy got the legs, and the other guy came up on the back, and he went down hard.
You know, Ron, the great thing about these artificial surfaces, it gives you a chance to play games in better conditions. Of course, they play soccer here, nothing, and we see Castle coming off the field. We saw this in the Taylor Indiana Wesleyan game the other day. That sometimes though, if your helmet drags along that turf, you get that those little black pebbles popping up into your eyes, and I just wonder if that time maybe if that's what happened to Mr. Castanon there.
Either that, or maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him because he got hit pretty good from behind in the back area. But certainly a 5-yard pickup or a 10-yard pickup on that 1st down.
It is indeed a 1st down, unofficially the 5th 1st down here in the 1st quarter for the Indians. Campbell with the pitch right side. Big running room, breaks a tackle. Well, there's a whistle and there's a flag on the far side of the field. This play never happened.
You know, and he, in running the play, he heard the whistle, he stopped, and he got drilled from behind. So what are we going to see? It was a
false start penalty on the Indians.
And that's something that is dead once it's a false start. So the Indians pick up, what is that, their 2nd 5-yard penalty, but pretty much everything else they've done have been very positive.
Winding down the 1st quarter of action here, under a minute. Mississinewa has controlled the action here. They're on top 13-0. Right now they have the ball at their own 45-yard line. 1st and 15. Two wideouts here, split to the right. Skeens, quarterback draw. It was a run all the way. Turns it upfield, gets it down inside the Eastbrook 50 to the 46.
10 yards.
It's not Eastbrook's 50, it's both teams 50. But into Eastbrook territory, a gain of almost 10 yards and sets up a 2nd and 6.
Tackler tried to tackle the ball and pull it out. Skeens, good ball handler, though, and kept the ball, just went down then. 10-yard pickup, and certainly the thing that Adamson talked about is not something that's happened in this first quarter, and that's keeping him in check.
Well, when we come back, we'll see if the Panthers can get a stop here. Take a break.
Our parks and preserves are not mere picnicking places. They're rich storehouses of memories and reveries. They're bearers of wonderful tales to those who will listen, a solace to the aged and an inspiration to the young. Wise words indeed from the father of Indiana's state parks, Richard Lieber. Come celebrate their 100th anniversary this year. Lands preserved for generations. That's honest to goodness Indiana. Start exploring at visitindiana.com/parks.
Back here in live action from Gas City, Indiana, Mississinewa High School, where the Indians have the 13-0 lead over the Eastbrook Panthers. 2nd down and 5, as now the Indians will be moving from our right to our left. Heisman Skeens, who's had a huge first quarter, pitches it here late. That's Campbell, who fights his way inside the 40, picks up another Mississinewa first down. Their 6th first down. And of course, next week, Wildcat football. Saturday, Wildcat Countdown Show begins at 11:30 as the Indiana Wesleyan Wildcats take on Trinity Bible. It'll be the 2nd home game ever for Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats. And Ron, what a time we had last Saturday.
Oh, man, was that first game something special for both teams. But especially in the biggest high school crowd that Grant County has seen, or not high school, but football crowd that the high school or Grant County has ever seen.
Campbell inside handoff, plows straight ahead. Actually, that was technically a 3rd down because the ball had been marked just inches shy of that first down marker. So now that's the 6th first down for Mississinewa as they get the ball inside the 42, the 36-yard line, and there you see the carry. But getting to that inaugural Indiana Wesleyan University football game, tell you what, kudos to head coach Jordan Langs and the squad, first-year program. He got that team ready. They competed hard and gave themselves a chance to win.
They did. They came out ready to play. Nice job.
Skeens escapes the pressure inside the 20 and finally knocked out of bounds. And Ron, that time in that play, I think Eastbrook's defense thought they had Heisman Skeens maybe caught up in the backfield, and he just made a move and lost the defender.
I don't think there's any doubt that he's the fastest guy out on the field because he just outran him. Talking about right there as he comes out, it's just a quarterback keeper. There's 5, 10, 15, 20-yard pickup
and that
for Heisman Skeens.
That was Mason Hale, who's also a defensive back for Eastbrook, who was in good position, just got lost. Here's the inside handoff. The ball is loose. It's on the turf.
And that's his 2nd.
And it is going to be Eastbrook football. Oh, my goodness. What a huge break that time for the Panthers. And Ron, down 13-0 with Mississinewa on the march. Eastbrook could not ask for any bigger gift right now.
No, and you would think, and they're running the clock. More importantly, they're up 2 touchdowns, and they're running the clock. But this is the second time Cade Campbell has fumbled the ball in just a little over a quarter, and he tried to go for the extra yards, and it was ripped out of his hands.
I think it was Mason Hale who got in there to make the hit that knocked that football away. First down, pickup of a couple yards. Wait to see who that was in on the carry there. I think it was Zane Kirby.
Real quick, stats, unofficial stats, first quarter, I had Eastbrook 12 plays, 7 yards. 7 yards. Mississinewa 16 plays, 146 yards. So domination was by Mississinewa, and they're up 13-0 at the end of one. And they're in the quick no huddle.
Exactly. Now here's a flag, though. I don't think Eastbrook got set. That was Kiesling on that last carry. And so instead of a 3rd and long 2 for Eastbrook, they're going to be looking about 3rd and 8. And uncharacteristically for Eastbrook, that is their 4th procedure or motion penalty.
They are trying to do things they don't normally do. And, you know, to me, if you want to run a little clock yourself, and with the quick no-huddle offense, if your offense is not moving, you're just giving Mississinewa the time to run the clock. And Mississinewa's done a nice job of clock possession.
Well, now it's 3rd and 7 for Dylan Bragg. That's another penalty. This Eastbrook offense right now, uncharacteristically, is a little, I think the technical term is discombobulated.
Discombobulated. I'll go along with that. And that, I'm sure, is in the Webster Dictionary under confused, dazed, and not going in rhythm.
Well, 3rd and 12 now. Not the kind of scenario that Eastbrook wants to be in. On the roll, Bragg, his intended receiver that time was, I believe it was Clay Dalton. In fact, it was. Pass is incomplete. And so now the Panthers will be forced to kick it away as Zane Schultz will come in to punt it for Eastbrook. And as we take a look at this replay, I like the fact that they're going to try to roll Dylan Bragg outside of the pocket, give him a little time, but really no one was open on that play.
Looked like Campbell got the knockdown, and a lot of these guys go both ways for both teams.
It's a low-line drive, and a fair catch called for right at the 46-yard line for Cade Campbell. Let's check in with Katie Key down on the sideline.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, one of the assistant coaches on Mississinewa's sideline told me that they were really just going to play smart football on the defensive end, and that they were really pushing the guys to swarm the football, and that's what they've been doing. They've been doing a great job at it and just keeping those Panthers to limited yards up the field. Back to you guys.
I think Katie is exactly right. I only had them unofficially for 7 yards in the first quarter on 12 plays, which is less than 1 yard per effort. At least half of those plays were negative yardage, as Mississinewa's defense have come across and really put the
on a defense that's used to gaining 6 and 7 yards on a play. That pass from Heisman Skeens, it looked to me like it slipped out of his hands.
Yeah, and it looks like it might be raining a little bit now.
Yeah, that rain has picked up a little bit. We'll see if Katie Key has brought the umbrella back. But, that's kind of what the weather forecast for this evening, for all weekend long is. It just calls for rain all weekend long.
I think it was interesting. Last series, they came out on first down and threw it after they'd run so much and got a 24-yard pickup. This time, an incomplete pass.
In trouble, but escaping that trouble, at least momentarily, was Heisman Skeens. But there, Zane Kirby is able to track him down for a gain of only 1 yard. But again, a play where Heisman Skeens looked like he might lose about 4 or 5 yards. He gets a gain of 1. He's making hay tonight.
See him push down one. Here he comes, and he gets tackled then by Zane Kirby as Kirby comes up from his linebacker position.
Well, it's 3rd and 9 now. See if this Eastbrook defense can come up with a stop here. Force Mississinewa to kick this one away. Skeens rolls to the right. Now he'll come back to the left. Unloads it. Incomplete pass at the 40-yard line. That time play was really well defensed by the East. We talked maybe that the Panther defense has not had the greatest night. They did their job that time and really played that one straight up.
Good pressure on the quarterback by Drew Cochran. And again, a passing game that's been really pretty good over the first 3 games now is starting to sputter a little bit for Mississinewa.
Now Skeens is your punter, gets a great punt away. It bounces at the 10, and it takes a Mississinewa bounce. It goes out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Eastbrook had nobody back to return that kick because, you know, you cannot bank on the fact right there that Skeens is going to kick that ball away.
That's right. But he has punted, I believe, 4 other times coming into this game. They use 2 putters. I believe they use Skeens when they're in the short field, and the other one when they're in the long field. But that's the longest punt of the season for Heisman Skeens.
Hale is back in at quarterback. Here's the inside handoff. Some important yards right there by number 28, Edward Kiesling, who just gives the Eastbrook offense a little bit breathing room as he picks up 4 yards there. And now Hale will line them up quickly.
And if they're in that double hip position, and they'll run what I call a little shuffling of the cards.
Inside handoff, bouncing across the 10-yard line. Spotting it at about the 12. That was Zane Kirby with the carry. And now it will be a 3rd down. Well, it looks about a long 4 yards to pick up the first. People could really use a first down here. Help that defense out, and they do, in fact, get it. Zane Kirby with the pickup of 5. I have that as only the 2nd first down picked up from scrimmage for Eastbrook tonight.
It is, and they're barely, let's see, I had them for 7 yards at the end of the first quarter, and you add 12 more yards. They haven't gotten to 20 yards yet.
That's Kiesling with the carry that time, bouncing off of tacklers and falling forward, picks up a couple yards, sets up a 2nd and 8 situation now. Quickly, well, I don't ever remember Eastbrook moving this quickly from the line of scrimmage. There's a big handoff. Kirby has running room. He's off to the races at midfield, at the 40, down the left sideline to 20. No, he won't be caught from behind, and just like that, the Eastbrook Panthers on the scoreboard with a huge touchdown run by Zane Kirby. I look at the field and no flags.
82 yards, and it was just a quick hitter.
Yeah.
Quick hitter, and he busted it open, and once he got past level 2, it was a foot race with Jesse Plummer, and he won the race, an 82-yard pickup, so they went from 18 yards of offense. Now they're right at 100 yards.
That was a 95-yard drive. That series began back at the 5-yard line. The kick is up. It is good. Extra point from Zane Shilton. As we take a look at the replay,
here it is.
And sticking to their guns.
He busted open.
And you thought
actually
maybe
it's Campbell.
Yeah, you thought maybe Campbell had the angle. Almost gets him.
One more step before he should have had, but 82 yards, and it was a foot race, and you've got some speed out there on that track. That rain doesn't slow you down when you've got turf, and as you can see, everybody was chasing, and now this has become a game.
Yeah, we got a new ball game now as the score is now 13-7. You know, Coach Adamson told us, and thanks really to both Coach Adamson and Coach Kurt Funk, they were gracious enough to spend a little time with us early in the week to talk about this game. But when talking about Zane Kirby, Coach Adamson said, well, you know, people think he's the power runner, and he is for us. He goes, but he does have some speed.
He certainly
You know, people
does.
think it's, you know, Justin Singer, who is definitely has some speed. But he's like, Zane has got some speed as well, and he showed it right there.
He had run the ball 6 times for about 7 or 8 yards, and then he busts one open, picks up 82, and that's what a fullback of his caliber is able to do. He changed this whole game by making that second effort of getting through the linebackers and then turning on the jets and getting down that left sideline for a 82-yard touchdown run.
Schiltz ready to kick it off here, and Ron, I keep thinking about the fact as we see the kickoff here, Mississinewa had a 13-0 lead 2 times with the ball where they fumbled it away, and they really had a chance, as we see the return from Campbell, out here across the 20 to the 20, let's see, about the 24-yard line. Actually, that was across the 25 to 27. But 13-0, a couple turnovers. It allows Eastbrook to stick with their game plan, to stick with their run, and they count on busting a big play.
They do, and you know what? Uncharacteristically, he has thrown 3 times in this game. But most of the time, he has pounded, and that time the pounding paid off because you get tired after a while of taking that big fullback and trying to take him down, and that time it worked for Eastbrook.
We'll see if this Eastbrook defense can keep the momentum. Campbell in motion, takes the handoff to the right. He's caught in the backfield, and he's going to be pulled down for a loss. There on the tackle, Alexander Baker, the junior defensive end, playing good disciplined defense that time, where he's supposed to be. And he pulls down number 23, Carson Campbell, for a loss.
Last 6 plays, Mississinewa is in negative yardage. And here we look at this, maybe a replay.
Maybe 2nd down and 14 after that loss on a 4 on the play. Skeens brings in motion. That's number 22, Castanon. Here is the screen to Kyler Funk on this side. Funk bulls his way across the 30-yard line. We saw Kyler Funk make some big hits on the defensive side. When he gets the football, he likes to square his shoulders up and go straight forward.
He's actually 2nd or 3rd on the team in receptions. He came from that right side. It looks like it's going to go backwards.
A big penalty.
Maybe a holding penalty.
We'll wait for the official call here. I did not catch it there, but, well, false start. And, you know, officially, that's a...
Well, it in effect becomes about a 20-yard penalty because even though it's just 5 yards, they picked up 10 on that little screen pass, and I thought it was played screen pass.
Going to the right, under pressure, throwing on the run. He's got his man incomplete. What a throw that time by Heisman Skeens, but Castanon just couldn't come up with the play. And Skeens, tell you what, he did not look like a first-year quarterback in that throw right there.
And I mean, he is a senior, so he played 3. In fact, wasn't it last year that when McCoyne went down, we saw him come in, and Coach had told us that he had not ever looked at being quarterback. They didn't have anybody for McCoyne. Let's look at this pass play, and you see him rolling out.
Castanon got behind the defenders that time.
And that was a big play. That was a big play because instead of having a first down, now it is 3rd and 20.
3rd and 19 officially with 5:17 to go on the clock. There's a timeout in the field. Ron, I'm going to be honest with our viewers right now. I am not looking out the window. I'm very glad for our camera crew because I can't see a thing through these windows that are covered with rain, and so I'm very thankful for the great camera work here tonight by our crew because we're watching the screen.
So good. We have a monitor up here that we can watch if we can't see. And by the way, about half of what we are calling from, we're seeing from the monitor. But then we get a chance to react. And here we are.
With the matching shirts.
Yes.
Thanks to our fine producer, Nate Johnson.
Nathan and Randall take care of us, and certainly those guys with everything they had to do today out in the rain, a big kudos to them and the crew for all that they've done getting us ready.
I got a text earlier this morning from Paul Crespin. I was just like, oh my goodness.
Big play here.
Yes, it is. 3rd and 19. Little play action. Skeens under pressure. He's going to have to roll out to his left. Throws on the run, and it is caught. And it's going to be a Mississinewa first down.
Kyler Funk.
Big play right there. by that Mississinewa Indian offense to pick up the first down on what was a 3rd and 19. No, that was a huge play.
Kyler Funk coming across from the right side to the left. He sprints out. Heisman Skeen sprints out. Watch him come. He scrambles. Here comes Kyler Funk coming across. And what a big catch that was. Kyler Funk is actually 6'2", 200 pounds. That young man has good range and good size.
Wow, what a big pickup because it keeps the football out of the hands of that Eastbrook offense that was starting to get things in gear, starting to roll. And now, instead, it's Mississinewa 2nd down and 6 with the ball out at the 45-yard line.
So far, this first half's a couple of 3 big plays for each team. Mississinewa ahead 13-7.
Drew Castanon is going to be back in the lineup. Spreads out far to the right. There you see at the top of the screen. The back getting the handoff that time is number 31 for the Indians, Andrew Cruz. I think that's the first carry we've seen from him tonight. And he ran right over Zane Kirby. And Zane, is that Kirby?
It probably
No,
is.
actually that's Drew Cochran, number 25, is a little bit slow to get up.
Cruz plays a lot of defense, but he is a backup at there in the backfield on offense. And this young man is, he doesn't come off very often, but when he does come off, it's on offense.
Coach Kurt Funk talked about Andrew Cruz being the anchor of that defensive line. Here is the handoff, and again, he just plows forward. Cruz with the carry, gets inside Eastbrook territory and has the first down. And
Running
now
the
this
clock.
is, Indian offense on the move inside Eastbrook territory with 3:35 to go here in the first half.
They've gone to a double tight and a strong running game. Here it is. He acts like he's reading it, but I think it's a run all the way.
Boy, the more this Eastbrook defense now will come up closer, get tighter to try to stop this. Waiting for Skeens to bounce from the outside. Here's Campbell with the big gainer. Campbell still on his feet at the 20 down the right sideline. Campbell with the move.
Wow.
And finally taken down inside the 5-yard line. A touchdown saving tackle that time. But after that huge pickup,
40 yards.
3rd and 19, Cade Campbell stumbles and rumbles all the way down to the, looks like about the 3-yard line. Big pickup that time by Cade Campbell.
42 yards less giving. And again, Cade Campbell, he comes across and he just busted it. He got around the corner. And one of the things Coach talked about, Coach Adamson, was can we keep him contained?
Option left, Campbell dives into the end zone, touchdown.
That is the 11th touchdown of the season for Cade Campbell.
Cade Campbell with the big score. We talked about maybe a couple costly fumbles he had earlier. Well, he made up for it on that drive, carrying the load with the big 42-yard run that set up that 3-yard touchdown. And just like that, Mississinewa regains the 2-touchdown lead. Extra point to come. They're on top 19-7. Here's Soliday in. And Cruz, who had a couple nice carries in there, is going to hold. Doing everything, Cruz is. Playing a little defense, offense, he even holds on extra points.
I thought maybe they'd go for 2 here since Eastbrook actually has a touchdown, but looks like they're going for it.
The snap is down, the kick is up. It is good. And the Indians extend their lead to 20-7. Let's take a look at this other big run here by Cade Campbell that sets up the touchdown. Shaking tackles as he goes.
He does, and that's the sign of a, oh, wow, he got hit really hard down there on the 3.
Well, Zane Kirby.
And here is the pitch, the option pitch. What a great dive this is. Yes.
Well, he made the nice move to lose the initial defender and then just gets it into the corner of the end zone in front of Drew Cochran. And just like that,
you know, Mississinewa has really dominated this first half. Turned the ball over twice.
Yeah.
Or they would be probably up 3 or 4 touchdowns. As it is, they're up 20-7 and really looking good in the first half. Coach Adamson's got a lot of adjustments to make at halftime.
Well, 2 minutes and 43 seconds left here in the second half. A little bit of time for Eastbrook to maybe do something here, but you got to believe they really need a big return on this kickoff to give them some room to work with, considering there's only 2:43 left to go.
I had them a 4-minute series there, 8 running or 8 plays, and about 80 yards somewhere in that, maybe 75 yards.
73 yards. The drive started at the 27-yard line.
That's right. So a great series that time for Mississinewa, not only scoring, but running 4 minutes off the clock going into the half.
Well, when this Mississinewa defense has not turned the football over, they've been deadly. Good kick there by Soliday, deep in the end zone, no return, and that will give the Eastbrook Panthers the ball out at the 20-yard line. But again, Mr. Soliday has been a weapon for this Mississinewa team in terms of that field position.
Special teams. Special teams is the third part of your team, and people overlook him. But certainly Soliday has been very, very good. He missed 1 extra point, but his kicking has been very good and long on the kickoffs.
See who's in at quarterback is Dylan Bragg with the keeper. Not much running room there at all. He'll dive forward for a gain of a yard. I wasn't sure on that if he was looking for the pitch and it wasn't there, but it sets up a 2nd and 9 for Eastbrook.
And coming out running like this with little over 2 minutes to go, that puts him second and long. And if I'm Mississinewa, I'm trying to stop him and get it again.
Let's see if they use the timeout. Here's a broken tackle. Kirby left sideline, another big gainer down across midfield. Makes a move, still on his feet, and finally caught behind inside the 20. Oh, a touchdown saving tackle that time for Mississinewa. I believe that was number 43, Tobias Mead. But Zane Kirby with another big run.
He got out again. And again, this game, even though we say Mississinewa might be dominating it, big plays for Eastbrook now have kept them in.
Well, now the officials is going to stop the clock, and Mississinewa is going to use one of their timeouts. That'll be their second timeout used. Let's take a look at the replay here at another big run by Zane Kirby, but boy, he doesn't need much of a hole. That offensive line opened it up. He got a great block. I wasn't sure who that was from.
Great move right here, too. And, oh, man. If he doesn't have to slow down to sidestep a player, that's another touchdown. I have it for about 62-yard run.
There you see both huddles there. And I'm going to tell you what, 30 years now as the head coach of the Eastbrook Panthers, and I think Coach Adamson, who you see right there, he's seen it all.
He has.
He's not freaking out yet, and I think that has to be relayed to his players that he's not panicking, and they're not going to panic either.
And by the way, he was good last Saturday in our pregame panel that we had, bringing his insight, his experience to what to expect from both teams, as a matter of fact.
Well, it is first down now for Eastbrook. Here is Kirby with the carry. Not much room there. Picks up about a yard, maybe 2. Sets up a 2nd and 8. Do the Panthers here with Dylan Bragg. Do they dare put the ball in the air here sometime?
Looked like Mississinewa's down people were not ready. They are this time.
Bragg under center. Play action rolling to the left. He's
wow.
hit, and he is going to go down. And who else but Kyler Funk?
Tyler Funk on the blitz, and he puts the shoulder pads.
If he was a professional wrestler, that takedown there would be like the Funkhauser. He just
the Funkhauser. There
he
you go.
just drilled Dylan Bragg to the turf, quickly to the line.
5-yard loss.
It's got to be 4-down territory here, though, for Eastbrook in this situation. St. Kirby gets those 5 yards back, and it will be now 4th and 9. The ball with 1 minute exactly to go, resting at the 22.
I think you have to go, yes. And here comes Kyler Funk on the blitz. Wow, Kyler Funk has had 2 big catches offensively, but defensively, his dad was talking about him, how good he was leading the team with about 30 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. He's already got 2 tackles for loss in this game. He's come to play, and it's a good thing that, when I coached over at Marion, we had 4 coaches had 4 sons playing, and we went to the state that year. And, it's always nice to be able to go home and talk a little football as well at home as what you do there at the practice field.
Well, it'll be 4th, and we're going to call it 10 officially. The ball really just is inside the marker there, but
big play right here.
You would think Eastbrook has to throw the football here, and then Bragg's going to have to roll out.
I think that's
give himself some time. Straight drop under pressure. Here's the screen pass. He's got Clay Dalton. Clay Dalton makes a move. First down. He hits the end zone.
Oh, what a move. Oh, what a move.
Oh, what a huge play. Looked like Clay Dalton might be stopped short. But somehow he leaped the defender and got into the corner of the end zone.
He jumped the tackler.
Oh, my goodness. Eastbrook, with 50 seconds to go, has responded as they move the football 80 yards for the big score and draws themselves back to within 7 with the extra point to come. Here's Schultz. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. It is right down the middle. It is good, and we're back to a 6-point ball game. Take a look at this.
Little screen pass, middle screen, and right here. Whoop! What an effort.
And then at the end of the play, just ran over the defender to get into the end zone. And, Ron, this has turned out to be a pretty good football game. Let's go down quickly to Silas Weghorst on that Eastbrook sideline. All right, we're going to check in with Silas a little bit later. I think he got caught in various animals walking by 2 by 2.
Yeah, that's good. Again, what a call!
Yeah,
and
great call.
When you're looking at 3rd or 4th and long, screens and draws are good because your line is selling out, going after the quarterback, knowing that he has to throw. This was almost a jump shot from the quarterback to the fullback, and that was he doesn't play most of the time in there. They put him in there for this play. That was Clay Dalton, 6'1", 205-pound senior, and he rumbles for 17 yards and a touchdown.
There is a short kick, and the ball is loose. It's on the turf, and Mississinewa gets it back. We saw that very same play in the Indiana Wesleyan Taylor game at the very end, and it cost
big.
It
was big. That again, that's a big play if your kicker can get it right.
Yeah.
And if that ball actually goes about 2 more yards, that's a free ball.
Well, and I like that move that time by Eastbrook, because I don't want right now number 21 Heisman Skeens, who's back there, or Cade Campbell, to get their hands on the football in that situation.
That was Caden Cole that came up with the ball. Good kick. And Caden Cole gets it right there at the 24.
The ball's at the 24-yard line, 48.2 seconds. Here to go in the first half. We've got a good one going here. Don't go away. Second half of action. We're excited to bring it to you. Here's the inside handoff. Here's Campbell. Cade Campbell is taken down inbounds.
That's a safe call. It's a little slip draw as Eastbrook's kind of playing pass just so they don't give up a touchdown. And they hand it off. He picks up some 8 yards. And it was a safe play.
Yeah, I would imagine Coach Kurt Funk would have wanted that time, though, to Campbell to get out of bounds.
Yep.
stop the clock. They do have one timeout, Mississinewa does. Well, now there's a stoppage of play. And it'll be a false start, I believe, on Mississinewa. And so after all of that, they're going to move back 5 yards. It will be now 2nd down and 8 to go. Don't expect much here from Mississinewa Crazy. Maybe get the ball back in hands of Campbell.
And not even a pitch. He's going to either take it himself or he's going to give it.
He may even take a knee right here.
Yeah, well, he could. But as good as Heisman Skeens has been in this game running the ball, they might want to do that too. But I'd say take a knee. Remember, Eastbrook does get the ball.
They won't even have to snap as the clock is going to run down here, and that is the end of the first half. And if nothing else, Ron, that was a very entertaining first half. Mississinewa got up 13-0, but couple big plays, couple big runs by Zane Kirby. He had the huge long touchdown run that gave him their first score, and then the big run that set up the score by Clay Dalton. And Eastbrook is back into this football game. We should have a big second half ahead of us.
We sure should.
Well, I'll tell you what. Do not go away. When we come back, we'll have our halftime show. Then we'll be back with the second half of action right here on the Grant County High School Football Game of the Week on WIWU. And welcome back here to Mississinewa High School in Gas City, Indiana. We're at the half. The Indians are on top of the Eastbrook Panthers, 20-14. Along with Ron Vermain, I'm Roger Alcock here, getting ready for the second half of action. But Ron, while we have a moment here, I want to give some halftime scores from throughout the CIC and some interesting scores. Oak Hill up 14-0 on Elwood. Oak Hill and Coach Bud Osmond, one of the veteran coaches here in the county, really needed a win tonight, and they're up 14-0 on the half. So good for Oak Hill.
It sure is. You know, he's had a strong program. Last couple of years has fallen on some hard times, but Coach Osmond is one of the deans of Grant County, and Grant County has a few deans as far as longevity is in the coaching.
Get a load of this score. Blackford is up 21-0 on Frankton, and Frankton was 2-1 overall coming into this game, but Blackford, much improved program. They used to be really down in the bottom of CIC, and they've come back. I mean, they had a great history, but found some hard times, and now they're coming back.
Yeah, they lost like 30 or close to 40 in a row, and now things, from what I talked to Ed Thurman, who lives over there, that it's on its way back, and you know, it's good to see that regional team that, you know, with a lot of Grant County ties.
Here's another interesting score at the half. Alexandria, 2-1 on the season, really in the hunt for the CIC. Right. They feel they could be in the hunt this year. They are on top of Madison Grant, who's really searching for a win, but it's a 14-13 ball game. So Madison Grant really putting up a fight there in that ball game.
It's really close, and you know, it's you look at some games when you're down and you say this is a must game for us, and I believe that this game is a must for either team that wins, because the team that loses that will come out without a win, and things start to get long.
And, of course, the Marion Giants were undefeated on the season, 20-0 over Anderson. Well, Ron, we're going to take a look at some highlights here of this first half, and a first half where it looked for all the world like Mississinewa was going to roll away with this one, and we see, you know, one of the Campbells there with a carry early. This is going to set up the big touchdown run here from Heisman Skeens that put Mississinewa on top 6-0.
A big block here by Cruz right at that point of attack.
Later on, then you see Skeens with the keeper here and going down that left sideline. Actually, that play was called back. He went out of bounds, but it set up the play here as Campbell took it into the end zone for the second score and made it 13-0 after the extra point. Couple turnovers, though, really cost Mississinewa.
And it has, you know, Eastbrook has stayed in it. You know, they haven't got any problems as far as getting rattled by the fact that they got down 2 touchdowns.
And this was the big play here, Zane Kirby with the long touchdown run that really got Eastbrook back in this ball game.
He actually just puts the Jets in right here. Again, you try as the defense to get an angle on him, and he just kept running away from the angle.
Zane Kirby made it 13-7. Eastbrook defense comes up with a couple big stops. But then there was another big play we may see later on, as we saw this huge pitch and catch that time. Actually, it was incomplete, but later on there was the big play. But the defense for Eastbrook did start to set up. Look at this pass, though, to Kyler Funk.
He got hit, and he held on to the ball. And I really like this young man. He's a junior. He's the coach's son, but he plays both sides of the ball.
That was on a 3rd and I believe 19 play that set up a first down, kept this drive alive, and then the big carry here from Cade Campbell, who had a couple turnovers early, but he's running the ball hard tonight.
He is quick and he's fast, and he'll run over you if he has to. Right there, ooh, then he got hit.
Zane Kirby with the big hit. But Campbell finishes this drive off here with the 3-yard touchdown run, makes the move, gets into the corner of the end zone, and it's 20-7. And there's only about 2 minutes and 15 seconds left here in the half. But then once again, Zane Kirby with a big run that gives Eastbrook the football deep into Mississinewa territory and sets up their next touchdown.
Yeah, and they score that in, I believe, 6 plays, 80 yards in less than a minute.
And then that time, Hale finds Clay Dalton on a 4th down play.
Right.
He caps it off with the 17-yard touchdown, and that was the score in the first half, 20-14. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll start the second half of action. It's the Indians of Mississinewa, the Eastbrook Panthers here, WIWU.
On the bench, that one is tipped and it picked off, intercepted. Way at the 30, the 20, down the sideline, touchdown.
Do I really want to step into something that's not safe? Do I really want to do something that's uncertain?
The world is desperate for nurses who want to positively impact the world for Christ.
The biggest communication problem is that we do not listen to understand. We listen to respond.
Did you say 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back here in Mississinewa Stadium, we're going to send it down to the side. On the side of this wake horse, he has Coach Jeff Adamson.
Guys, I'm here with Coach Adamson. So during that first quarter, there were a lot of penalties. What do you contribute that to?
I think we had a lot of guys that were a little too emotionally high and needed to settle down and just play. And I think we got there, but it was kind of later in the second quarter instead of at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, in that second quarter, your offensive line really cleaned up. I know that's a young group of guys. You graduated all 5 of your offensive line last year. How do you think those guys are going to come out in this second half and really kind of take control?
I hope so. You know, I think, you know, we just talked about a few things, made some adjustments, and hopefully they'll pick that up.
Is there anything else big that you told your guys during halftime? Or?
Just play, man, just play.
All right, that's good. Back to you guys.
A big thanks to Coach Jeff Addison to joining Silas down there. And that is a huge point that Silas made is we know what Eastbrook wants to do because they've done it so well over the years, but you start 5 new guys on the offensive line after the loss. That is not easy because you think, oh, all they do is run the ball. Their running game is not simple. I mean,
no.
They do some really sophisticated things within that running scheme, and that's not easy to pick up.
And you know, it's one of those deals where we talked about this in production meeting where the people that get all the glory are the ball carriers or the quarterback and the receivers. But the guys that really do the majority of the work are right down there on the offensive and defensive line. And when you replace all 5 of yours offensively, that's a tough replacement. Yeah. And certainly Mississinewa, you know, both teams have moved the other team off the ball. And when you move it off the ball, you're going to score points.
Well, of course, we saw it on the highlights and the replays. When Eastbrook sticks with what they do, they might get the 2-yard gain and the 1-yard gain or a 3-yard, but sooner or later they're going to pop a big one on you.
And they'd thrown 3 times in 3 games. They threw 3 times in the first half, all 3 incomplete. But they ran the ball 17 times, and they got 166 total yards. But, Roger, 144 of those yards were on two Zane Singer carries, one of 82 and one of 62.
You know, on the other side, Coach Kurt Funk, in many regards, you take away the 2 turnovers. He's got to be really pleased with his offense as well. What Heisman Skeens has done. They have run the ball effectively. Of course, we see with Cade Campbell, and we've seen Heisman Skeens. He can throw the football as well. They have some balance to their offense.
They really do, but the second fumble was big because they were deep in Eastbrook territory, and they lost the ball, and Eastbrook turns around and comes right back. So this game, you're going to see Eastbrook get the ball. If they march down the field, and by the way, I was out, it is raining.
It's raining harder right now.
It is raining out there, and we've lost a few of the fans on the other side, I see, but a lot of fans still here, a lot of interest still here, and again, you got to look at the crowds and how they're getting into it, because usually the home crowd wins it.
Well, the field is still, obviously with this turf, is in excellent condition, but that ball is slippery. We'll see if it comes into play. Are they going to work a little reverse here? No. Eastbrook, I cannot see who that is on the far sideline, but it's a nice return out across the 25, out across the 30, and that with the return was Edward Kiesling, the senior, with really what looked like, well, I thought might be a dangerous play there as he took that ball back to 1 yard line, but gets it out to, let's see where they're going to mark it. Looks like about the 27-yard line.
And again, if Eastbrook's got to remember that first quarter for them was pretty much a washout quarter. They didn't do much of anything. It was about 3 and out. So they got the ball here and a chance to either tie or go ahead.
Kirby, who's in motion, takes the handoff and a nice gain on first down. A pickup of about 7 yards. Well, that's exactly what Eastbrook wants and needs, is those gains on first down of 5, 6, and 7 yards.
Well, they do, and because you got 3 easy downs or 3 downs that you can use. 3 times 5 is going to be 15. That's first downs, and they didn't have very many in the first half.
Second play from scrimmage, not much room there at all. And working hard to get back to the line of scrimmage was number 25, Drew Cochran.
In fact, Roger, I believe Eastbrook only had 3 first downs in that first half.
Here's the handoff. Kirby, boy, second effort is going to get him the first down, and he was hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it looked like he was going to be short of that line to gain, but he's able to fight forward and picks up the first down. A big first down indeed for Eastbrook, the first down of this half. And as you said, only the 4th of the ball game.
Kirby coming back on the counter motion.
Here's the inside handoff, and now this Eastbrook running game starting to pick up a little bit of steam, picking up bigger chunks on those first down carries. That time it was Kiesling with the carry.
I believe as we watch it here, the left tackle mashes down, and I believe that tackle was Josh Plummer.
Oh, the ball is loose.
Down.
Back to live action. The ball is on the turf. Mississinewa will come away with the turnover.
Unbelievable.
And that's what we really just talked about moments ago, is this wet football in the rainy conditions. You really have to hang on to it. And I thought that was clearly a fumble the officials talked about, and in fact, it is going to be Mississinewa football.
This is both teams, and I don't know any team really that doesn't work on stripping the ball.
Yeah.
Stripping the ball is simply, and here we're going to see it stripped out as he just gets hit.
Yeah, Kiesling with the carry there.
Straight ahead dive.
So now Mississinewa will begin with 10-17 here on the clock. Their first possession, good field position at the 42-yard line. The Heisman Skeens had a really nice first half. Will lead the team out here and sends Campbell in motion. He'll keep the football and nowhere to run that time. Zane Kirby In on the stop, along with number 18, Mason Hale.
The first half, Eastbrook was what I would call vanilla. Vanilla just simply means, in football terms, that they didn't blitz much, they didn't break. Now, we saw Funk blitz a couple of times.
Yeah, very effective.
But that was a big blitz that time, and they lost 5 yards. And I think you're going to see a little bit different defensive set for Eastbrook because they've got to start taking a few more chances.
Yes. 2nd down and 15 after a loss of 5. Here's the inside handoff. Cade Campbell fights his way forward, gets a gain of about 6 yards, and so that will set up a 3rd and 9.
Well, let's see where they do actually put it. Well, I think they're only going to give him about 3 yards, Roger. 2 yards, maybe. I don't know if they're seeing it in their box, but right now the linebackers are really coming hard. A little play action pass right here might get big yards for Mississinewa.
All right, in fact, it's a 3rd and 14 now. Heisman Skeens with the keeper. He has room, makes the move. Heisman Skeens has 1st down yardage. Big pickup on 3rd and long, and Skeens gets it into Eastbrook territory down to the 45-yard line. And when in doubt or in trouble, get the ball into the young man's hands.
You see Funk, Kyler Funk, get the block at the point of attack, and I have it down as an 18-yard pickup and a 1st down for Mississinewa. The first 2 plays didn't look all that good, but as we've seen, he looks good when he runs the ball, and we're talking about the quarterback.
In motion, Carson Campbell gets the handoff, gets the corner, and gets the 1st down as he gets the ball inside. Let's see where they're going to spot it. Inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. Nice inside handoff here to the other Campbell.
Yeah, that's the freshman Campbell, and he is not very big. He's only 5'5", I believe.
Yeah, they list him at
5'6", 160 pounds, and that might.
Yeah, this says 5'5", 130. Looks a little bit bigger than that. But
yeah. 11-yard pickup.
There's Campbell in motion once again. Skeens working the right side. Now bounces outside. Hit and taken down after a gain of about 3 on that 1st down play.
I think that Eastbrook is Coach Adamson and his staff talked to him about getting more players to the ball. And that time we saw 4 players to the ball. Mississinewa's been doing a nice job of getting multiple players. I think that will be the difference in this ball game, is that Eastbrook can stop at the point of attack the quarterback running the ball.
Of course, Mississinewa took the football over after the Eastbrook turnover. That was their 2nd turnover of the evening. Both teams have fumbled the ball twice. And now on that 2nd down carry, Cade Campbell gets it down to about the 30-yard line, and so it will be a 3rd and 8 situation. Excuse me, 3rd and 5.
Really thought that Mississinewa would throw a little more than they have, but the 2 Campbell boys have really done a nice job running. Certainly, Kyler Funk has caught three nice balls for him, and this has been a nice-looking offense in this game.
Here's the pitch. Cade Campbell gets a nice block.
Oh, yeah.
Works his way near that 1st down marker, and he, in fact, does have the 1st down inside the 25, inside the 24. And it'll be a Mississinewa 1st down, another 1st down. That's, my count, the 13th 1st down of the ball game from them. Well, when they hold on to the football, they sure have moved it well.
They have, and more importantly, they're burning clock here.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow Eastbrook. They had their chance coming out in this first half, or third quarter, but now we're down almost to half the quarter gone with Mississinewa running off most of it.
6:20 and ticking away. That clock is here in the 3rd quarter. Campbell rolls to the left. Yeah, he's going to keep it. Turns upfield. Oh, he spun around. The ball is loose, but he was down. He being Heisman Skeens.
Down by contact.
Boy, you hate to see a guy flip up in the air like that.
He jumped up and he tried, you know, and that's what we've seen a lot, I think, from both sides. Certainly the extra effort we saw on the run from Eastbrook, and then just now trying to lower his head and we've got a guy down for Eastbrook.
Yeah, it's Jake Donaldson, number 60, the defensive tackle for the Panthers. So we have a timeout on the field. 5:58 to go. Now next Friday, September 21st. Actually, that's going to be in a couple weeks, I should say. Next will be Friday, September 21st, 7 p.m. Logansport. The Berries come to Marion, Indiana to take on the Giants, and what a season the Giants have had so far.
3-0, and I guess they're heading 20-0 at halftime against Anderson. They have finally a home game next week.
Yeah, they've been on the road quite a bit.
And then the following week we will be there and do the Logansport game.
Now here is another look. You see Skeens getting spun up and down, and it looked almost like Donaldson was maybe rolled up by his own player and getting
either
helped
that
off the field
or Skeens' foot might have caught him, or knee might have caught him, but he was rolled up on. So, and he's a good-sized young man.
Yeah. Well, and that's something for Eastbrook. We talked about kind of the youth movement and the new wave of linemen for their squad. They're not as big as maybe they have been in the past, of course, so they rely a lot on technique and leverage and speed. Here we go, 2nd and 6. Inside handoff, Cade Campbell. He'll pick up a couple of yards. Down at the bottom of that pile, making the tackle was Dalton. Katie Key is with us on the Mississinewa sideline.
Yeah, down here the rain is starting to come down a little bit harder, making it tougher for these players to hang on to the ball. There was a turnover earlier in this half, and these players are just having to play through. The coach on the Mississinewa side said they just have to play through the rain and not think about it. And there are some loyal fans out here, though, that are sticking around through this rain and just toughing it out. Back to you guys.
But no one tougher than Katie Key on that sideline. Here is Skeens with the keeper, and he's fighting his way towards that first down marker. He's going to be very close. We'll wait for the spot here.
Well, I think you're in a 4-down territory. I really do.
Yeah. It's going to be a first down for the Indians as Skeens does indeed pick it up for Mississinewa, and they continue to march down the field. And Ron, this drive is now over 5 minutes old. They've churned off about 4 first downs in it. They've moved the ball methodically down the field.
9 plays.
A score here would be really big for this Indian squad. Here is, well, not much running room at all that time for Campbell. Dalton once again down to the bottom of that pile. Hale as well, I believe.
You don't have as much room to go north and south in here. Therefore, it moves the linebackers up and the safeties up. So it's harder. You have to really get a block on more people to get something to happen. And that time was no gain because your linebackers are just a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, and the reaction time just seems like it's a little quicker.
Josh Rogers also in on that tackle for Eastbrook. 2nd and 10 after no gain. There's a penalty flag down. Skeens rolls, stops. Under pressure, now rolls to his left, throws to the corner of the end zone, caught for the touchdown. Let's wait and see who the flag is on. But for now, in the end zone, that was Carson Campbell with the score.
13-yard touchdown pass if it stays.
But once again, that play kept alive by the feet of Heisman Skeens.
And did you see Jason Abergast?
Yeah.
Big, he's 6'1", 285-pound junior. He gets a big block, and watch here as Skeens rolls around.
Yeah.
Abergast comes around 75 right there. Now watch him pick this guy up right.
Boom. Well, that touchdown is going to come back as the penalty was, as we thought, on Mississinewa. I didn't want to assume, but it looked like it was.
Yeah, it was, and a lot of times that'll happen that you get some kind of movement.
Well, now it's 2nd and 15. Here's Cade Campbell, right side, still on his feet, and brought down by Hale at the 12-yard line. I gotta say though, Ron, to me, this Eastbrook defense looks like they're starting to get a little bit tired.
They are, and remember, a lot of those guys go both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the play. He turns his shoulders right here. He gets pulled down from behind.
Hale on the tackle. But I don't know. I've always been told, or always kind of felt, you have to expend a little bit more energy on defense than maybe you do on the offensive side.
You do.
3 minutes and 10 seconds now left in the third quarter. Campbell off left tackle inside the 10. Gain of a couple yards. It'll be 3rd down now. And looks like about 6 yards to go. Actually, it's now 4th down, for Mississinewa. 4th and 9, and let's see what they're going to do.
We're going to see a field goal try, I think.
Yeah. Saladay in for the field goal attempt. The ball will be spotted down at the right at the 25-yard line. The 15-yard line. So a 25-yard field goal attempt. He's definitely got the leg for it. The snap is down. The kick is up. It is good as good can be. But again, there's a flag on the play. So let's see what happens.
Could be offsides.
If this is against Eastbrook, if you're Mississinewa, do you take the points off the board?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You take points off the board and make it 4th and what, about 2?
I once
4th and 1?
Yeah.
I think you keep the points.
I think you do too.
We'll wait and see.
It was the right end over there on the far side. Looked like he was jumped the gun a little bit.
I'm still waiting for the.
He's talking to Kurt Funk, coming over to talk to Kurt Funk.
A procedure penalty.
Wow.
Against the.
Maybe when the guy over there. Well, what I thought was a jump, he was just right on the money.
The umpire, I think, that was making through the flag there. So take the points. Well, that's a touchdown that comes off the board, off the penalty, and now a field goal that comes off the board.
I think he had plenty of leg.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
And in case fans out there don't know, it is pouring down rain out there. If you look real close at times, when we get closer to the ground approach, you can see that rain coming down. And right now, it's really a tough hold.
Yeah,
for
that snap and that hold is not
because
easy.
It's coming back hard. And again, that's Cruz, I believe, that catches and puts it down.
Well, and so now we have a 30-yard field goal attempt from Saladay. Wait for the snap. And it's down. It kicks up. That was partially blocked. And it is short, no good. Oh, my goodness. Penalties on that drive, Ron.
Wow.
Goodness, really hurt the Mississinewa Indians.
It did, and that took points off of the board, which would have made it a 2-score lead, and now it's just a 6-point lead and a touchdown and an extra point, and Eastbrook's ahead in this game, and that's something they haven't seen yet.
Boy, that has got to drive the head coach of the Indians, Kurt Funk, crazy right there, because he knows that was a missed opportunity.
I think it comes from the left side over there, and
right up the middle. Who
was that? 84, maybe? Was that big
49,
guy?
I think it might have been Clay Dalton. Well, here on 1st down, not much sledding room that time. A gain of 2 yards for Eastbrook. And they will line up quickly here. Let's see who it's in at quarterback for Eastbrook.
About 3 yards.
That is Dylan Bragg in at quarterback. 2nd down carry, 2 more yards, and quickly now, Eastbrook looking at A 3rd and long.
That's 2 up the middle. We haven't seen much outside run. I don't know if he doesn't think that he can get that outside run, but we haven't seen a lot of it.
Quickly, handoff. And fighting right at that first down marker. And if that ball got to the 30, I think it's first down, and they don't even have to measure. Let's take a look here on that blocked field goal. Coming right up the middle. There's Clay Dalton. Well, Dalton got it first, but if he had not got it, I think Alexander Baker, number 44, might have.
Both big guys coming up the middle, and that caused that to not get there.
Bragg. Once again, the handoff. That time left side. That's Kiesling with the carry.
And you notice they're not getting out of their game plan. It's just still hammer, hammer, hammer.
Yeah.
And when it's good when you're picking up first downs, but
2nd 7. Nowhere to go that time, and knocked backwards on the carry that time was Kiesling, I believe. Let's see who's the bottom of that Eastbrook pile. Well, whoever it is, they're not getting up right now. And that looks like a cramp.
Yep, it sure does.
Can't
it's
see.
Like
I think that
30.
Is that Cruz down there, number 31?
Might be. It's a 1. It's Cruz. That's because I see 21 over here.
57 seconds remain here in the 3rd quarter. Mississinewa on top 20-14. Eastbrook looking down now at a 3rd down and 7. The ball is sitting at the 34-yard line. Timeout on the field for the injured player, but excuse me, Ron, you would think for all the world, in many regards, Mississinewa has really controlled this football game, but a couple big turnovers have cost them dearly, and then some penalties on that last drive took a touchdown off the board, and then later cost them a field goal.
Here comes this play, and oh my!
Cruz just met him right there in the middle, and kind of planted that foot there.
He did, and maybe it buckled because he came up high, and he hit the ball carrier high too.
See the trainers out there stretching out. Hey, good luck to Coach Jordan Langs and the Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats tomorrow night at 6 p.m. They make their first foray on the road as they go down to Anderson and take on the Ravens, and looking for the first program victory there. And tell you what, if they can play like they played last Saturday and make a few improvements and adjustments, they give themselves a great shot.
You always say you make more improvement between first and second game than you do any time the rest of the season, and because you see a lot of things that you don't see when you just keep hammering on each other. And look for Coach Langs, and yes, he is not very old. I believe he's 29. 29-year-old head coach at a small college, but what a thing he's done.
Hey, there's a big pass from Dillon. Now, I think that's a completed pass and then drop. No, they're going to say it's incomplete. I thought maybe Kiesling made the grab and then made a move, and then the ball was knocked out of bounds. I want to see a replay here.
Yeah, well, here you can see how hard it is. It's actually raining. But I don't think he ever brought it in. Let's see.
Let's see, Bragg gets nailed at the end of this play as well.
Yeah, I don't think he might have gotten 1 foot down. Now, definitely, they said it was no catch. Now it becomes 4th down and long, and I think you got a kick.
Yeah, Arbogast just leveled Dylan Bragg as he was releasing that football. Oh, there's a bad snap. It's through the legs of Schultz. He'll go down and cover it back at the 6-yard line, and that is not what Eastbrook needed right there. And now Mississinewa is going to take over deep in Eastbrook territory.
Counts as a 28-yard fumble.
Yeah. 28-yard
loss and fumble. It's really not a turnover because he got on the ball, but it's a 28-yard loss, like a tackle for loss.
And that snap just never got up, and then once it hit that slick turf, wow. 1st and goal for Mississinewa. The ball is sitting at the 7-yard line. So the pass that looked like for all the world is going to be complete for a first down instead is incomplete.
And I think it was the rain that probably cost them on the snap.
Yep. High snap. Skeensel draws it in, hands it off to Campbell. And now I bet you we're going to have a face mask on that tackle. A couple of officials threw a flag on that play.
And again, that was a high snap. Again, probably attribute it to the water out there. Half the distance now because of the face mask.
Well, and now it will be
first and goal for the Indians.
First and goal for Mississinewa at the 4-yard line. Really not a big penalty in terms of yardage, but does give Mississinewa another play to work with here.
This be a good time to see Skeens keep the ball coming out and around and bringing those Campbell boys with him.
Yep. Nothing fancy here. Campbell right off the left tackle. Picks up a couple yards.
That might be it for the third quarter.
Taken down there by Josh Rogers along with some other Eastbrook Panthers. But that indeed will be the final play of the third quarter. A third quarter that saw no scoring.
And that's the end of the third
couple
quarter.
big turnovers, some penalties, and one more quarter of action to come. Don't go away. The Indians and Panthers are here on WIWU TV in the high school football game of the week.
And the decisions that you have to make, not just job-wise, not just career-wise, not just your calling, but really this is the heart of the matter when it comes to if you're going to decide to follow Christ or you're going to continue to follow your own way. You know, sometimes the Lord prepares and tills the soil of our souls for something when we least expect it.
We don't just go to the Bible to read it. We go there so that it can read us. We go there so that we can allow the text to change us.
Plays 3 yards for.
Back here in Gas City, Indiana, where Mississinewa leads the Eastbrook Panthers 2014. Ryan, we do have one other updated score. If I heard this correctly, Madison Grant on top of Alexandria, 27-14.
Wow.
That'd be a huge win. Here on the keeper, Skeens will walk in the end zone untouched for the touchdown. And just like that, the Mississinewa Indians take advantage of that bad snap on the punt. A 6-yard drive, 7-yard drive in 3 plays. They go in the end zone, and now they're back on top by 12, 26-14. Saladay in to attempt the extra point.
Unofficially, for third quarter stats, Eastbrook 12 plays for only 3 yards. And remember, they lost 28 on that last play, and Mississinewa 12 plays, 49 yards.
Well, now Mississinewa is going to call a timeout here on the extra point. Not sure what happened on that one, but
maybe trying to go for 2 here because it's 26-14, and 2 would give you a 14-point lead.
On the left side of that Mississinewa offensive line, they just opened up a huge hole.
They just smashed down, and he read it. He actually read it because it was an option and kept the ball on the counter option.
Well, so that makes it indeed 26-14. First play of the fourth quarter.
Really a quick third quarter.
Let's check in with Katie Key on the Mississinewa sideline.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, down here on the Mississinewa side, they have these glow sticks, and they're all thanks to the Mississinewa's head coach's wife. She wanted to do a glow stick night, so they have 300 to 400 of these little sticks distributed out, and there's a lot of other fans that have cool little glow sticks on, and it's just a really fun way to get the fans all involved. Back to you guys.
And Katie's right. That is a great way to get your fans involved. Is for the cheerleaders, I believe, is the one that sponsored it. His wife was a part of that. Here you see Mississinewa going to go for 2 here, and if they get it, why it'll be a 14-point lead, and this is what the book would say, because there is a book that tells you what to go for at any given time.
Skeens rolls to his left. Under pressure, he's going to keep. Pitches at last second.
Yeah.
And the conversion is good. Heisman Skeens.
Whoa.
Held that football as long as you possibly could and just got it off to Campbell in time.
He was.
But, oh, Ron, this is not good as we see Skeens down on the field.
Oh, no.
Sorry to interrupt, but that is a scene you do
He
not
was
want to
going
see.
down, and, you know, he probably got hurt because he was extended trying to get the ball to Campbell.
Wow. Boy, you know, you're relying on Heisman Skeens to do so many things. And
This
that's
is
always kind of that fear in the back of your head as a coach that
here we're going to see it happen. You're going to see what really proves to be a last-second pitch. We didn't get to see it. Here it is. Oh, and it looks like he got rolled on.
Boy, he just got rid of that football at the last microsecond. Campbell takes the end zone, makes it 28-14, but this crowd, which was as hyped up as you can get, being this wet on the field, is now you could hear a cricket out there.
Yeah, and that's this is the same thing that happened last year, I believe, wasn't it, when Eastbrook and when McCoy got hurt, and actually Skeens came in for him. I believe it was the Indians.
Take one more look at this, and
it's option. It's option all the way. It looks like he's going to throw too. It's a throw and a nice pitch. But as he was going down, it looked like the tackler rolled up on him. They are looking maybe at his leg somewhere.
Well, obviously a timeout on the field, 11:56 to go. It begs the question now, who's the backup quarterback for Mississinewa? I'll be honest, I don't know. We're going to find out next time the Indians get the football. We're going to assume that. But,
well, I don't know what you do. Do you go to a direct snap? Do you, wildcat type of look? Trainer is down there with Heisman Skeens, who's been the leader of this team in this fourth game. Mississinewa coming in 2-1, but Skeens brought in an 85% passing, and we see Coach Funk on the side, certainly out there with him. It looks like something of a leg situation.
Yeah, obviously.
Maybe Katie can find out for us.
Sure hope that Mr. Skeens is going to be okay, and hopefully this is not near as bad as what it looks, because that young man is he's a lot of fun to watch. And he's a great leader for this team.
He is. What a leader he is. And as we talked about earlier, was a running back last year, and the coach needed a quarterback this year. And he spent the entire summer working at learning the quarterback position, and he's come out and been a real leader there. 85% passing rate, and running the ball with the option just has been no better. And so now, good news and bad news for the Mississinewa Indians fans. They got a 2-touchdown lead, but if they have to lose Skeens, that's not a good trade-off.
No, not at all. Well, Soliday will be in to kick it off here for the Mississinewa Indians.
Andre Soliday will kick off for the
There's still time for this Eastbrook Panther team to make something happen, but their offense really needs to respond right away, or maybe a big return here.
This young man, Soliday, he's the real thing as far as a punter and a kicker. He can put the ball down in the end zone. As we saw, he can kick field goals. He's certainly done a fine job in extra points.
And he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, and then the punting is just unbelievable too.
Big high end over end kick that hits about the 3, and it actually went out of bounds at about the 2-yard line before it went in the end zone. So
that'll be
Eastbrook will get the ball in pretty good field
35-yard line, I believe it still is.
Yes. Well, only the third possession of the second half here for Eastbrook.
That's because the ball's been pretty much on the ground, and you had 12 plays, running plays for Eastbrook, and I believe 12 for Mississinewa in that third quarter.
So it'll be first down. 1st and 10 for Eastbrook. The ball will be at the 35-yard line.
Well, do you get out of your game plan here if you're Jeff Adamson, or?
Oh, now there's another penalty.
Wow.
That's going to move the ball out to the 40. I have no idea what that penalty was.
What would that be?
They said that some sort of procedure penalty on I've never seen that before, like a dead ball kind of situation.
Counter at that time.
Gain of only a couple yards there on first down. Keesley with the carry there for Eastbrook. As we said, only the third possession of the half here for Eastbrook. Hale, inside handoff. There's a big gainer. Oh, Kirby was one tackle away from taking it to the house, and there was Carson Campbell making a touchdown-saving tackle there for Mississinewa. But it is a first down for Eastbrook.
A 17-yard pickup for what, he's a breakaway back, and he may be the fullback, but he is a breakaway back.
Inside handoff once again to Kirby. And Castanon there to bring him down. But Kirby picks up a couple yards. We'll give him a gain of 3 on that play. Here's that previous play. And again,
he just steps out and does a little jitter step. What a neat tackle that time for Campbell.
Here's Singer, who has not carried the ball much. He was going to be pulled down, but you're going to tack 15 yards onto that because he was pulled down by his face mask, or else he might have taken the distance that time.
And let's see, they're going to give him, looks like a 10-yard pickup, and then whatever else they're going to tack onto it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be a 15-yard face mask penalty. And if I have this correct, that's the 9th penalty.
Here it is. Yeah, it doesn't look so much like a one there as it was a jersey.
Well, the officials are talking it over, but now we're going to mark it off. So the ball was at the 25 after the gain by Singer, and it's going to go down to the inside the 15.
Half the distance.
Yeah, half the distance. We'll put it at about the 12-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Eastbrook at the 12.
2 big penalties against Eastbrook in this drive.
Yeah.
Or against Mississinewa.
With the carry, the quarterback keeper inside the 10 is Hale, taken down at the 9. They can get a first down.
Mason Hale, the quarterback keeper.
Eastbrook can, if they get the ball about to the 2.5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down.
Looks like it's on the 5 where they put it.
Yeah. We're going to call it 2nd and 2. Ball is at the 5. Now a new set here for Eastbrook. Handoff. Keesling trying to turn the corner. And actually, that wasn't Keesling on the carry. That was number 28. Yeah, that was Keesling, number 28.
Mead on the tackle as he fights through that. It's just a straight T, the old 50s formation. Yeah. And I think Mead might be down.
Really no gain on that carry, so it'll be 3rd down and 2, but now we have another Mississinewa Indian down the field. This has been a hard-hitting football game.
It has, and nobody has quit. Both teams still firing out there.
Can't see who that is, but
it looked to me like it was Tobias Mead.
Oh, Tobias Mead. He's one of the leaders on this.
He's one of these captains.
Yeah.
He's one of the captains.
Take a look here. And this time the Indian defense does a nice job stretching this play out.
Oh, he brings them over on him.
Well, so now Eastbrook clearly in 4-down territory.
Clearly, yeah.
It's 3rd and 2. The ball is sitting at the 5-yard line. They can get a first down if they get it inside the 3. But at this point, Eastbrook really has to have a touchdown. They're down to 2 scores, 28-14.
Looks like the trainer is just talking to him right now, and he's moving his hand, left hand. I don't know if he hit a crazy bone or what. It might be shoulder.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things in your shoulder. A lot of.
A great effort, though, nonetheless, by Tobias Meade as he stops what would have been a touchdown.
So now it's 3rd and 2. The ball is at the 5. Hale, once again, kind of has that 3-man full house backfield. Here's the handoff. That's Keesling diving forward. He's short of the goal line, but I believe he may have the first down. We'll wait for the spot and for the officials to mark it. In fact, it is a first down for Eastbrook.
Real close. Not much extra there.
No, they got what they needed plus about a foot. And so now it's 1st and goal at the 2.
8th play of the drive.
Let's see, quickly again. Here's Keesling. Oh, he's tripped up in the backfield. That was Kyler Funk, who was slicing his way in and got a piece of Keesling's ankle there.
His 3rd tackle for loss, and, you know, you can tell Kyler must love to blitz, because when he does, he blitz that A-gap, and he got the tackle for loss.
They lost a yard. It's 2nd down and 3. Here now, Singer with the carry, bounces off of one tackler. Did he get in the end zone? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Eastbrook.
Looked like he might have bounced off 3 would-be tacklers, as 5 guys were there for Mississinewa, but he gets through the final 3 yards and touchdown for Eastbrook.
Well, Justin Singer gets his first score of the evening. He caps off a 65-yard drive. That was the best drive of the night for this Eastbrook offense against this Mississinewa defense. And now they're an extra point away from being only 1 touchdown and an extra point down. The snap is down, the kick is up, it is good. And just like that, we have a 28-21 ball game. Boy, Eastbrook just refusing to go away in this contest. And of course, you would expect nothing less from these two teams.
Yeah, and Eastbrook did not get out of their running game at all. They threw early in this game 3 times in the first quarter, and I think Coach Adams says, that's enough of that. Let's just run it down there. And really, 3 big plays for Eastbrook, and it's been busting them up the middle.
Well, I tell you what, now is with this Mississinewa offense getting ready to come back on the field after this kickoff, but we're going to see what this offensive line is made of and what the backs are made of, because whoever comes in at quarterback, is not going to be Heisman schemes.
And
someone else is going to have to pick up that difference.
You're not really at the point where you have to onside kick here, but be ready for that. I tell you what, Coach Adamson is. You can predict that you can't predict it.
I almost think in this situation with how wet it is, the rain, if you try one of those low line drive squib type things, here's a short little pooch kick. That ball is live and a good play down there. Let's see who that was. I think that was Castanon, who made a really heads-up play to cover the football at the 25-yard line.
And that, again, he comes up full speed, full sprint to get there and catches a wet ball and has enough sense to take the ball down.
My goodness, look at this. Heisman Skeens is back into the ball game. Katie Key, what do you have? We'll check back in with Katie in just a moment. Ron? Boy, I am shocked right now. The way Heisman Skeens was carried off this field, that is a great scene. Oh, the handoff and a big tackle for a loss. Taken down for the big loss was Campbell. And who was that for Eastbrook?
It looked like the big defensive end.
Was that, I think, was in on that.
Was that him or was it Baker? Baker was over there. Maybe
it's hard
Kirby.
to tell. Just hard to tell right now with all the glass, all the rain on the glass. But whoever it was, what a big play, because it's now 2nd down and 16.
6-yard loss. Good job by the left side over there.
Here's the handoff to Campbell, working that left side. Well, I'm going to tell you what, I thought the wideout on this near side for Mississinewa maybe had moved, but there's no flag on the play. A big pickup there on second down, a gain of nearly 10 yards for Campbell, and it makes it much more manageable now. Third down, we're going to call it 3rd and 6. Now let's find Katie Key.
Yeah, down here, guys, we saw Heisman Skeens come out. It was a very tough play, but he was able to get back moving, and he's back out there now and ready to go. We don't know exactly what happened, but he is out there playing, which is always good to see. Back to you guys.
Hey, what, if you're a Mississinewa fan, that's like that's a Christmas present right there. You're thrilled to see him out there. Skeens on the roll, throws on the run. It's tipped, incomplete. It was nearly intercepted. Incomplete is the call. Oh, the intended receiver down there, I believe.
That was real close.
I believe the intended receiver was Andrew Cruz coming out of the backfield. Skeens looked pretty good on that roll out there, though.
He did, though. And I think that was another one that might have been impacted by the water. It's still raining hard out there. It hit, and I don't know if we'll get to see it or not, but I think that was a real close play for Eastbrook.
Yeah, one of those defensive backs nearly picked that one off the turf. Singer back to return the kick, along with Kiesling for Eastbrook. The snap is a good one. A low-line drive. Singer's just going to get away from it as it rolls inside the 40, inside the 35, and down at the 34-yard line. But now with 8 minutes and 9 seconds to go, Eastbrook takes over the chance to tie up this ball game.
Turns out that's a decent punt.
Yeah.
37 yards.
Well, Ron, every time it looks like Mississinewa is going to put Eastbrook away, somehow Eastbrook comes up with a big play on offense, comes up with a stop on defense, and they've continued to give themselves a chance.
That's right, and I think it's going to be this last 8 minutes who still has a little left in the tank. Which team?
Here is the handoff to Kirby, working left side, a pickup of 3 yards. We're exactly at 8 minutes remaining here in regulation.
Well,
Second and 8.
Again, we talked about who's going to be there, and Mississinewa comes up with 2 nice plays so far.
Big plays right there by that Mississinewa defense.
You got a lot of guys going both ways, Roger, and a hard week, and the fact that it was so hot. And now you're playing in the cool, rainy weather. We're 4th down, and it will be. Who's got the best conditioning out there?
The keeper, Bragg, is tripped up, tries to pitch at the last second. Boy, that was a scary play as Singer is able to pick it off the turf nearly. No gain there, or if it was a gain, a short gain. And now Eastbrook is looking at 4th down.
Good defensive stand right here by Mississinewa. Got to make sure that you don't do something stupid if you're Mississinewa, and if you're Eastbrook and you're going to kick the ball, you want to make sure that you get it off, no holding. Holding right now would really kill them for field position.
Yeah, that was a big defensive stop, as you said, by that Mississinewa defense. So Schultz is back to kick it away. No, it's a fake. Inside handoff. Kirby has the first down. He gets it into Mississinewa territory at the 47-yard line. And, Ron, I'm almost positive Mississinewa was expecting the fake. They just didn't expect that particular fake.
And Plummer has right here what I think is a touchdown save. It's a snap to the up back.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm telling you what, that could have been tough.
Jeff Adamson is a mild-mannered guy, but a little bit of a riverboat gambler in him, isn't it? Here is the handoff on 1st down to Kirby.
I was checking that out today. This is the 11th time in 4 games that Eastbrook's gone on 4th down, and they've made it 8.
Yeah.
So it's not so much gambling with Eastbrook on 4th down.
That was in a very difficult situation, though. Here is Singer. Boy, nothing doing there for Singer. They have really done a good job of slowing Justin Singer down tight. He did have the earlier touchdown, but once again, it's 3rd and long for Eastbrook.
You know, you only got so many rabbits to pull out of your hats. Let's see if Coach Adamson and the Eastbrook Panthers have one more rabbit to pull out of the hat.
Here's a little play action. Bragg, he's going to put it up in there. He's going deep. Got his man wide open at the 20, the 10. It's Clay Dalton who'll go into the end zone. Can you believe it?
I said, does he have one more rabbit to pull out of the hat? A 46-yard play action pass. Nobody catches him as he comes out of the backfield. And what a great catch that was for Clay Dalton.
Yeah, Clay Dalton, but a really great job by the quarterback, Dylan Bragg, to sell the run. A really nice a fake on that play action and a perfect throw. And I'm going to be honest, I'm stunned right now as Eastbrook. Well, here's going to be a penalty, and I'm not sure if it was Mississinewa offsides or someone moved for Eastbrook.
If that's Mississinewa, do you go? You're down to 1 yard, 1.5 yards to go. Do you go for the 2?
This could be really interesting all of a sudden.
Yeah, because you're on the road. You know, usually at home you never go for 2 to go ahead, but if you're the visitor, a lot of times you will.
Boy,
let's see who's it against. If they were pulled off, it'll be from the 8-yard, and then I don't.
Well, now they haven't moved the football at all.
No,
so
maybe they refused it.
Extra point is up, and it is good. Oh, it wasn't good by much, but it was good. And with 5:57 to go, Eastbrook has tied this one up 28-all.
Roger, we have a football game, and I'm telling you what, Eastbrook has been down as much as 2 touchdowns, I believe, 3 times, and it's a tie ball game. You got 2 teams that can score a lot of points, and this is a team that doesn't throw, so that's why it caught Mississinewa off balance here, wide open. He's 6 yards open.
And that offensive line gave Dylan Bragg just enough time, protected him enough to give him a clean pocket to work out of, and he threw a perfect pass that time to Clay Dalton.
And if you're the Eastbrook sideline, you're thinking, oh my goodness, he's wide open. Just get it to him. Just get it to him. And what a pass that was. And touchdown by Clay Dalton ties this ball game with 5:57 to go.
And don't forget, that comes after the 4th down fake punt that's converted for the 1st down. And
that's big.
Boy, I tell you, what a swing of emotions tonight, because Mississinewa has played so well in so many regards. Some penalties have hurt them, though, and a couple turnovers have hurt them. We saw Heisman Skeens go down, but then he comes back in, and they've made some big plays. But give credit to this Eastbrook team to just hang in there and give themselves a chance, and now we're tied up. Here is the short kick once again from Schultz, but coming up and making the grab. That's Castanon. Whoa, he's hit and taken down hard. Big takedown there. I'm not sure who that was. I couldn't see. I think it might have been Hale with the tackle.
I think it was Hale.
No, actually, let's see. That was, is that Jonathan Bowl, number 6?
Yeah, I thought maybe it was 15 or 16. Let's see.
Well, it's hard to tell.
Our guys up with our cameras, they'll get it right there.
Oh, my goodness. What a great form tackle.
You're right.
It was number 6. Jonathan Bowl, he's going to have that highlight up on Twitter later tonight. Here we go. 1st and 10 for Mississinewa. Let's see what they can do with Skeens. Hands it off to Campbell. Campbell just fights through a tackle and gets himself a gain of about 3 yards. Well, you cannot arm tackle Cade Campbell, can you?
No, you sure
He's
can't.
going to pull you.
Both teams, slowing down just a little bit, and I think conditioning again will pay off for one of these teams in this last 5 minutes and 31 seconds.
Second down and 7. Oh, there's a loose ball, but picked up and a gain of a couple yards. Not sure who that was for Mississinewa. Let's see who's at the bottom of the pile with that carry, but goodness, that would have been scary. I think that was Cruz.
Cruz, yep.
who made something out of nothing on that play.
He did. You know, and that probably was the rain. But you're looking at 3rd down and 5 if you're Mississinewa. I'm looking at stats, and from the first series in the 3rd quarter, I don't see in the stats very much for Mississinewa. They have not done much offensively in the last quarter and a half.
From the shotgun on the roll to the right, pulling it in. Skeens is going to run. Is he going to get the first down? He's going to be very close, but it looks like with the spot, he's going to be about a yard shy. So now Kurt Funk has a decision to make with 4:19 to go and the clock ticking with 4th and 1. The ball is still only, at your own 33, 34-yard line. Do you go for it? I bet you he's going to give that ball to Cade Campbell and see if he can't pick up a yard. They are going to go for it.
They're going to go for it, and I think maybe you go the long count, the hard count, to see if you can draw them off.
Skeens out of the shotgun, takes a snap. Campbell hit, bounces off a tackler, gets the first down. And he's a little jacked up after that first down run.
Good call, Coach Alcott. Good call. That's exactly what they did to give it to Cade Campbell right here. Just a straight give. Nice block by Cruz as he comes from his outside spots and does a down block, which allows Campbell to go right off his tail.
Clock continues to wind, 3:32 to go. Now Funk goes in motion to the left. Here's the pitch. Campbell turns it upfield. Oh, he's hit and taken down. Again, Clay Dalton with the tackle.
It sure looked to me like there might have been some holding out there from. Let's see if we can find it right here. And I'm saying right there.
Good job by Clay Dalton, though, to fight off that block.
Yep.
And hold Campbell to a gain of only a yard.
I would have said he was the man being held. And he did a nice job of getting out of what I thought was a hold and get the tackle.
The Indians do have 2 timeouts left in their pocket. Here is the quarterback keeper. Heisman Skeens, big gainer. Midfield, Heisman Skeens the 40, the 30. Heisman Skeens down to the 20. He just broke that play open. And now, with 2:39 to go, Mississinewa is within field goal range.
They certainly are within field. And that's your leader. That's your leader that got hurt on the extra point just a few plays ago, but a big run on the quarterback keep, and he's not getting up real quick here.
Boy, the Eastbrook defense had done such a good job of really containing this Mississinewa offense in the second half, but Heisman Skeens, with maybe what is the play of the game right there, breaks the big gainer for over 40 yards. And now it is 1st down and 10 for Mississinewa at the 20 of Eastbrook.
20 from the 20 of Mississinewa to the 20 of Eastbrook. That's 60-yard gains. And we're down to 2.5 minutes left in this ball game. Didn't look real promising for Mississinewa. I'm looking in the last 2 series that they've had, did absolutely nothing. 60-yard gain for Heisman Skeen, and this young man has been a leader for this team really for the last 4 games, but certainly he's a 4-year starter for them. And what a big play it was as they run the option off of the counter option. And great run.
You got to think, obviously, right now for Coach Jeff Adamson and that Eastbrook defense, you got to keep Mississinewa out of the end zone, of course, obviously. But if you can hold them a field goal attempt, these are not easy conditions in which to try to get that snap down, the hold down, and kick up. Is the ball loose? Is the ball loose? Are you kidding me? Eastbrook has it. We're waiting for the official signal. Eastbrook takes over.
Cade Campbell's 3rd lost fumble of the game.
Oh my, a big turnover there.
That was an extra effort on his part. He gains about 4 yards, but on that extra effort try, here we go.
Yeah, trying to fight for that extra yard, and
they just strip him.
Oh, he just started losing that ball. And who was it at the bottom of the pile for Eastbrook? Pulling up out of there. Couldn't see who that was, but what a turn of events. Well, Cade Campbell, he's had a heck of a ball game.
He sure has.
But it has not been easy for the backs to hold onto that football. So now Eastbrook will have it with 2:25. There's a flag on the play, and he goes down. The quarterback does. But the clock will stop with the penalty, and I got to believe it's going to be against Eastbrook.
Yes, it is.
Mississinewa would most likely decline this.
You would think so, because they didn't stop play, so this is an option, whether they take it or not, and a 4-yard loss.
It is a...
Is he saying he wants a timeout there?
Well, let's see what the signal is. Is it an illegal shift or motion? The penalty is declined. The clock is going to stop because now Kurt Funk is playing a little bit of a game here now with 2nd and long. He's got one more timeout after this. He's thinking about getting that ball back.
He is. He definitely is. And this is playing a little bit of Russian roulette because you're second down and 15. 2 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Tie ball game. And do you give Eastbrook a chance to run the ball with the clock not running?
I think he's got faith in his defense that they can get a stop. And then we saw the difficulty they've had in terms of both teams have had in terms of the long snaps and the punts. And, you know, hey, Eastbrook could put the ball on the turf right here. And so, I mean, this field position is huge right now, right?
Yep, it certainly is. And of course, I was always told this is what you get the big bucks for. And I don't know. I don't think any coach in Grant County gets the big bucks. But certainly this is he trusts his team. They just sent Eastbrook for a 5-yard loss. And it cost them a time or a down because of the tackle for loss. Let's see what coach comes out with. Coach Adamson.
Dylan Bragg under center. Singer in motion, inside handoff. That's Zane Kirby. You know, get the ball in the hands of Zane Kirby. He has had a big night. Very sure hands.
And you know that they're saying
Eastbrook's not. They're not running clock here. They're not playing for overtime. They want to move the football. Kirby fights forward. And let's see where the ball is spotted.
Wow,
it's going to be 4th down. And now Mississinewa is going to use their final timeout with 4th and what will end up being 9 for Eastbrook.
A lot of wheels going on right now, thinking about what's going on. He got tripped up right there by Cruz. Cruz slowed him down enough that the rest of the team came in and took him down.
Ron, I don't know if it's in your contract, but I'm up for overtime.
There you go. There you go. And what do they do here? Eastbrook is thinking, kick the ball away from the runner. And if I'm Mississinewa, I'm thinking, hey, if we catch it, make sure we hold it, because they have lost 3 fumbles. This is a lot to think about. 2 teams that have each scored 28 points in this ball game. I don't know. It looks like the advantage goes to Mississinewa right now, but you got to wonder what's going to happen in the next 1 minute and 55 seconds.
Schultz standing back at his own 2-yard line. Gets a snap. It's a good one, the low line drive. And it's going to take an Eastbrook bounce at midfield. It's still going, and if you're the Panthers, don't touch it. Wait till the officials, 4 or 5 more seconds went off the clock there. 1 minute and 44 seconds to go here in regulation.
38-yard punt, so Eastbrook kind of got out of the hole there on that good punt in let's say, less than favorable conditions because of all the rain that's come down all game.
But now Mississinewa is out of timeouts. At least that's what it says on the scoreboard. No more timeouts for Mississinewa. Eastbrook has 2. Heisman Skeens, who look like for all the world to be out with an injury for this ball game, has come back in to lead this Mississinewa team. The inside handoff to Cruz. He's hit for a loss. Let's see, does Eastbrook use their timeout?
You know, it's
not yet.
They haven't, and you wonder if they're not calling timeout. Why did they call the timeout earlier? But you know, right now there's about a minute and 20 seconds left. So if they don't throw it up this time, they're probably just waiting for overtime.
We'll wait and see now. Mississinewa is going to run.
And they're just letting the clock kind of run down.
13 on the play clock. Now it's at 10. So they could run it inside a minute. 2nd and 12. Skeens takes the snap and rolls to his left. Stops. He's going to go deep. He's got his man, and it is caught. Caught inside the 25. Still on his feet. Down to the 15. Was that Castanon? It was. He got open along that left sideline, and now 48.5 seconds remain. Mississinewa is in field goal position. A rare, I think, defensive breakdown that time by Eastbrook, and it cost them dearly.
39-yard pass to Castanon puts them down at the, I think, right on the 15-yard line.
The clock is running now as the chains are set. The ball right at the 15-yard line. Here's the pitch. Campbell slips a tackle, still on the run, slips another one, gets down to the 10. No timeouts left. Mississinewa has to hurry.
Good block by Cruz.
Will Skeens maybe put the ball on the turf, and do they set up a field goal? We'll wait and see. There it is. The clock will stop with 12 seconds. Ron, I think if they would want, with it being now second down, they could run one more play if they want. But it'd have to be, you can't take a sack, you can't be tackled for in bounds.
I think a good call here might be play action, just like they got on the extra point when they tried it, because if they see the dive, okay, give it. If not, is the pass there? If not, run with it and look for your pitch, Mac. And that's basically what Mississinewa likes to do, is run option. So if they don't pass it, I'm going to look to see outside option coming out of Mississinewa, maybe off to the left.
And it seems to me your only play if you're Skeens is to throw it into the end zone. You cannot afford to get taken down in play. Here is the pass towards the corner of the end zone. It is. Is it caught? Is it caught? Touchdown! Touchdown in the corner of the end zone. That was close. There was 7 seconds to go. Mississinewa gains the lead.
Unbelievable game. Unbelievable pass. And we're going to get to see it, I know. Nathan
Castanon with the score. It's impossible to see that left side of the end zone, but Heisman Skeens comes back in and has led his team to what looks to be the game-winning touchdown. Oh my goodness.
Maybe one play left, a kickoff, and maybe one play, maybe not.
In for the extra point, Soliday. Oh, what a thrill for Mississinewa and a heartbreak for Eastbrook. The snap is down. It is a low line drive to left, no good. But let's see if we get a replay of this one. Great job by the Mississinewa offensive line to give Heisman Skeens some time. He rolls to his left, under pressure, throws it to the back corner. What a shot.
All he has to get down is 1 foot.
The foot is down.
Yes.
He makes the grab.
Great play.
What a catch. The official right on the play made sure he had possession of the football. And there you see the touchdown that gives Mississinewa the lead. Great look that time by our camera.
Good job, guys. That, the play of the game, no doubt, was that play right there, because both teams have scored 4 touchdowns coming in. And with 7 seconds to go in this game, a 10-yard touchdown pass for Heisman Skeens.
Well, we couldn't tell from here if he had maintained possession. If you make the grab, we had to wait for that official signal. Oh, what a ball game, Ron. I mean,
you know, and our camera crew was here all day setting up so that they could get that one play.
Oh my goodness.
And did they get that one play? Good job, guys.
You know, and Eastbrook, who was down so many times, kept fighting back, got the score tied up, but then Mississinewa, we're not going to be denied tonight. And, boy, they come up with a big play. Let's see what happens on this kickoff. You got to believe Soliday's just going to try to squib it. Oh, he puts it underway. He's going to drill it deep and into the end zone. So not even an attempt of a return that time. So, well,
7 seconds.
This is what do you call the play, Ron, where you pitch the ball and you run forward, you throw it up in the air, and you run as far as it's kind of the rugby play here.
Yeah, it's that, or you can do the hook and ladder, where you throw the hook and then have a guy come out of the backfield and lateral it to him. There's several things. Come out in the polecat that we used to with Mark Surface. There's several plays. Or you can just run goes. And you know, this team, Eastbrook, doesn't get people out there in the wideout position.
Yeah,
so
and you can't throw a ball 80 yards. You got to, 3 wideouts to the right.
And you know, Mississinewa's playing up.
Pressure, the screen play. Now, there is a timeout. Eastbrook can call a timeout.
That's it.
Did they get it in time? I think the officials are going to give Eastbrook one more play.
Far side, I think, with about 1 second to go.
Yeah, there were 7 seconds on the clock before the snap. That play took about 5 seconds, took about 6 seconds, so now there is going to be an Eastbrook timeout with 1 second to play.
3-yard pickup, which is kind of a moot point here. Now you need some 65 and a half.
Well, they're trying to get the ball to Clay Dalton, and you can see, I think Clay Dalton, they were setting up that pitch play right there. Yep. But he just didn't have time to get rid of the football.
And you know what? They seldom go. And however, I've been in a situation twice, once over at Lafayette where we won the sectional with the hook and ladder, one other time with the polecat. So those are doable, but they just don't work all that. They're in a bunch set, which means you got 3 guys that are going to go after 3 for Mississinewa.
All right. 3 wideouts to the right side for Eastbrook. It's Hale in at quarterback. The snap, once again, incomplete. They tried to run the same play. That's the ball game. Mississinewa defeats Eastbrook. Now, I tell you what, the Panthers are trying to run down the end of the field, but this play is dead.
Yeah.
The officials have said this play is dead. But that is indeed the ball game. Now we see some officials at the 40-yard line. This game refuses to end.
The officials didn't follow him. And the officials are walking off the field, so this game is over.
Somebody picked the ball up for Eastbrook. They felt that the ball never touched the turf, but that is indeed going to be the end of the ball game. And what a ball game it was. Mississinewa 34, the Panthers 28, and
is that 6 years in a row the home team has won? And,
I believe so.
And then
let's take a look at this replay here, Ron.
They run in the bunch. 2 guys are going deep, but they're looking deep. It's going to be a hook and ladder is what
now
it
that
is.
ball clearly has touched the ground. Clearly it is a dead ball at that point. So, boy, I'm glad it was. I'm glad that wasn't a missed call, because you'd hate for a game to end like that. But the team's at the center of the field. Tell you what, look at the student section there from Mississinewa. They're ready to storm the field to greet their team here. And, boy, congratulations to Coach Kurt Funk and the Indians. But I tell you what, also to Coach Adamson and the Eastbrook, they gave these fans who came out in the rain tonight a whale of a ball game.
Well played
game
game
to remember.
both sides.
Yeah.
Oh my! It's we've done 2 games and they've been 2 good games. And as a person that is calling the game, you can't ask for more than just top-notch competitive effort on both sides every play of the game. Certainly there were 3 or 4 mistakes along the way from both sides, but this game came down to 7 seconds.
Yeah. Well, we are going to take a break run. We're going to catch our breath and talk a little bit more about this big game. 34-28, Eastbrook falls to the Mississinewa Indians. We'll be right back here on the Grant County High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by WIWU.
And the decisions that you have to make, not just job-wise, not just career-wise, not just your calling, but really this is the heart of the matter when it comes to if you're going to decide to follow Christ or you're going to continue to follow your own way. You know, sometimes the Lord prepares and tills the soil of our souls for something when we least expect it.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Crossroads. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie King.
It's Kappa. Here we go. Here we go. Tries it actually works. Now I can maybe actually get some points. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Katie Key. The Crossroads of Life brings people together, and that's what we try to do here each week.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So long.
We don't have a screen. All right, back here once again in Gas City, Mississinewa High School. Roger Alcock along with Ron Vermillion. And boy, Ron, I'm a little bit worn out. That was a whale of a football game, and a game where, you know, Mississinewa, there's a lot at stake. And they get the CIC milk can back. So that's always big for them. And let the guys in the truck know real quick. We've lost our monitor up here, but a celebration for the Mississinewa Indians. And there you see that Eastbrook, get a good sign of sportsmanship. I tell you what, you got to respect both these teams, both coach. I think because you got to respect both coaches and how they lead their teams.
Both coaches, first-class men in the first place, and then they run a first-class team. Good helpers, good people, and then you know, like we said, it's this is going to be a series that's probably going to be won by the home team most of the time, just because your home team carries a lot of. I mean, you know, they're the loud team. They're with you when you're moving, and so I think give some kudos to this home team crowd, because they kept Mississinewa in it, especially in the third quarter and fourth quarter early when things weren't going quite so well.
Well, there you see the victorious coach of the Indians, Kurt Funk, who's kind of giving some instruction to his squad there, and he knows now that this team is in position to make another run at a CIC championship, and so this was a huge victory for them, no doubt. But they've got a few more ball games to go, and you got to imagine he's going to celebrate this win, but he wants them focused on what's ahead of them as well.
Both teams 3-1 in the conference. I believe that's what it is now. Both teams have one conference loss, and I think there's one other team that could possibly be 3-1 in the conference. So we'll see when it all shakes down with the CIC what happens, but certainly you can't ask for a better crowd game, a better game to call than what we saw here with the guys selling out and giving the best that they have every play. Certainly there was mistakes, but you got to remember they played in a rain the entire game. The entire game, they had rain coming down. So I just kudos to both sides. There had to be a winner, there had to be a loser, and Mississinewa came out with the home win.
Let's take a look at those standings really quick, because Mississinewa coming into this game was 2-1 overall, but that one loss was out of conference.
Oh, that's right.
So they now moved to 3-1. They are now in first place in the CIC at 2-0. Eastbrook, their first loss. They're at 3-1 overall, but 1-1 in the CIC. You know, Frankton, who was 1-0 in conference play, took on Blackford in a big game tonight.
Wow.
And so Blackford was all over Frankton. So right now, it's Mississinewa and Blackford at the top of the CIC standings, and that game coming up later on this year, that'll be a big ball game.
It will, and I think Coach yesterday, Coach Adamson talked to us, and he said he felt like there were 4 teams in the conference that could win it. And this was just one of the games that was a pivotal game. And certainly now this puts Mississinewa in the driver's seat in the CIC, because they have beaten a very good Eastbrook team. And Eastbrook, all they can do is hope that Mississinewa loses a game and both teams win out. You know, it could come down to maybe 3 teams with 1 loss, and then you just look at how they solve that particular thing as far as who actually wins the conference. So it's kind of fun when you're looking at it. Now the coaches, that's what they're in it for, and maybe it's hard on the crowd from both teams, but certainly one of the things that happens in football is you play the next game, and certainly with the kind of fields that we have now, every game is going to be a good game regardless of what the weather is.
You know, it's interesting that, of course, Mississinewa has moved up to 2A. Eastbrook still has a lot to play for, even if it's not conference championship. If they can't win that, they still want to get better, move on, because they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in terms of what happens in Class 2A here in Indiana. But before this game, the Jeff Sagarin ratings had in the state of Indiana, you take classes aside, Mississinewa was 45th in state, Eastbrook 48th, and we saw 2 pretty good teams, evenly matched, different teams, different styles, but came out, and it came down really the final 7 seconds of the ball game.
And both teams were, you know, we thought maybe that conditioning would play a role in this game, which I'm sure it did. So, but anyhow, the bottom line, I think the run with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go that picked up 60 yards, put them in.
Hey, we are going to check in with KDQ, who has Coach Kurt Funk downstairs.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, I'm down here with head coach Kurt Funk. And, Coach, I have to say, the weather was not cooperating tonight, but what do you tell your guys going into games like this in preparation for it?
Yesterday we practiced for wet football all day, and we kept soaking it in the bucket just to be prepared for this weather tonight, and I think that really helped us. And, there were some mishaps here and there that maybe the weather maybe affected a little bit, but, both teams had to deal with it. We just played football, and it was a great football game.
Yeah, and I have to ask about that last play call. Were you nervous at all, or what's going through your mind when you're making a call like that?
The touchdown catch?
Yes, yeah.
No, I had faith in, our players, and Coach Crick, he made the call. It was a great job, and Heisman threw it right where, only Drew could get it. And really, if we didn't get it there, we were going to, kick the field goal. But Drew went up and got it. It was an awesome play. It's just one that, as a coach, hopefully I'll be doing this a long time. I'll never forget.
Yeah, and there was a lot of resilience that your players showed throughout this game. What do you say to them to encourage them to stick with it no matter what's happening in the game?
Yeah, we have three things that we live by. That's discipline, accountability, and toughness. For 6 seconds with 3 great efforts. So that they hear that we say DAT to 63. So we talk about that all the time, that they better give 3 great efforts on every play. They better have discipline, accountability, toughness, and we preach it. And these kids, they live it. They live it out here on this field, and they never give up. And I'm just so proud of these guys, because that's just how they are.
Yeah, thanks so much, Coach, and congrats on a great win.
Hey, thank you very much.
Back to you guys.
Once again, thanks to Coach Funk for joining us. And again, Coach Adamson, who joined us at the half. The guys, they didn't really have to do that, and we appreciate their time. And two great coaches, two great programs, and they put together a great football game tonight. We were just privileged to be a part of it.
And thanks to the guys down in the truck for doing such a great job of setting this up and giving us a good game to call.
Well, as we said, it came down to the final 7 seconds. It was Heisman Skeens with the big touchdown pass to Castanon, and a big victory here, 34-28 for Eastbrook. So, thank you so much for joining us. For Ron Vermillion, I'm Roger Alcock, our entire crew, Silas and Katie down at the field, and everyone else bring this ball game tonight. We certainly hope that you enjoyed us. We'll see you next time on the high school football game of the week here in Grant County on WIWU TV.